that can make this a real thing. And with PUBG Mobile, the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're seeing phenomenal prize pools coming in. First events coming through along the lines. This is very telling of what the future could be. And it goes back to that whole, you don't want to walk away from this event. You don't want to be at the very beginning of this and have a bad set. You want to come out of this feeling amazing. But from what it sounds like,
yeah,
I think
ready.
we've got something going on over at the stage.
Ready to go, so we'll kick it over for the intro to game number 4. We'll see you guys in game. Get ready.
Red zone will be activated.
That trophy at the forefront of everyone's minds, and we are ready for game number 4. Are you in the crowd ready for game number 4?
All right, so coming through, got the bunny rabbit helmet, but there you go. We can see kind of a cruel plane path, all things considered. This is probably my least favorite plane path to have to deal with. Whenever it goes right over the canal like that, you have to make the choice, south, north. Almost everybody opts into north. Everybody starts trying to stretch as far as they can go, and it's just people stacked all on top of each other. Naturally, if you're one of the teams in the top 5, this is going to be really rough because you're going to have to figure out how you're going to make that modification.
So you can't really tell, but these teams still in transit in the parachutes trying to find a place to call home. We see now a couple of teams opt for the military base. I think now we're starting to see a little bit of a diversion in early game strategy, and now is the time to make those changes. There's only this game and one game afterwards, and this is now, if you're Terrifying Nightmares, if you're the top 5 of that leaderboard, you have to have a good game number 4.
Now you can see Terrifying Nightmares was making the jump towards Pachinki. They did make the land in the general vicinity. Circle does pop up. Pachinki is inside the circle, but it looks like there is another squad that's hanging out with them.
This is going to be most likely another military base finish. So looking over to the region like Novo, there's a couple of teams here, Team 13 and 14 landing next to each other in sync, looking to maybe find that early game kill, try and get the upper hand. As moving on to the military base, it's Team 20. They found themselves a good spot. And now, if you're Terrifying Nightmares, you're sticking to the strategy. They're back in Pachinki.
Yep. And they do have the Incredibles that's hanging out with him, causing a little bit of trouble for him. But right now, we're watching over here about Whitebeard's successors. They do have military base to themselves, so it's got a little bit of control. They've got somebody off in the distance over there. It's going to be Chiefs that's holding down another about, I don't know, 400 or 500 meters away from them. So no big rush over there for any form of factor, but no surprise over here next to school. Got a couple of squads that have dropped down, so we are looking over here at Mafia and Never Slow Down.
And the initial shots do come out. There's actually a random member of Team 2.
Yeah, what are you doing?
He doing? Wolverine, what are you doing there? Well, it doesn't matter. He's been spotted. He's going to be the first guy out of the lobby. That's well, actually maybe the second guy out of the lobby, but that's a tough start. Wolverine, what are you doing?
Yeah, causing a little bit of damage to Annihilate right off the get-go. You can see Never Slow Down was like, what is even happening there? Going for a push on it. But now here's where it might be a little bit of a mind game that was unexpected. They got a down and a kill off of that. They might assume if they get 1 or 2 downs on the other side of this, the fight could be over, and not realize that that's an entire 5th man from a different squad.
Speaking of which, we've got Team 16. This is one squad that's been having a bit of a rough go, but they're sharing some real estate. Team 8 right next door. Hussar is there. They're in that top end of the leaderboard. You have to be mindful of Hussar's capabilities, and it looks like for Team 16 they're going to back right off.
Yeah, no surprise on that. They were already starting to get pushed away. Naturally, if you drop on Georgia Pool, you want to hit the apartment areas, you want to hit the duplexes that are just right next to the little bay area, and they couldn't make an approach on that, so they just backed off, hopped in a vehicle. Again, 2 rounds left. You don't want to do anything too terribly risky in this round, specifically a fight in Georgia Pool that's nowhere near the safe zone.
Absolutely. Now, looking at the way the map has set itself up, we are expecting another military-based circle. So for teams like 4, 14, and 13, they've got the right idea. They're already centering early. It's in their designated loot spot, but for now, I think that they're sitting pretty comfortably, similar with the 2 teams in the military base. That's Team 20 and I believe Team 2 or Team 4. They're feeling good. And if you're on the northern edges, that's where I think most of the pressure is going to mount. That's where those team fights are going to start happening early. We have not seen any initial action from Terrifying Nightmares in Pachinki, so it looks like maybe that early game pressure is starting to be alleviated.
Yeah, it's just a matter of kind of surviving through the initial onslaught. If you can kind of show a little bit of dominance over there. But I got to say, there's a lot of stuff going on around school. And remember, that's not inside the safe zone as of yet. We do have a little bit of stuff that's going over next to Rajak. Actually, no, Pachinki.
This is Pachinki.
Yep,
this is Terrifying Nightmares. We're joining them here. They are staying relatively close together as a squad. And that was something we talked about during the analyst segment, is just talking about how in the early game, if you're Terrifying Nightmares, you have to stay together. You can't allow one man to get picked off and then lose that advantage. And now it looks like they have Pachinki all to themselves.
Now we're starting to see it get a little bit more feisty over here as we got Team 12, Never Slow Down, hanging out over here next to Mafia. They're doing a little bit of pushing back and forth, but notice that we do have one player of Mafia, Squad Sin, up in that upper area, taking a couple of pot shots down. But, a little bit of action happening around the yellows right now as we got Squad 9. That's going to be Incredibles doing a little bit of a fight that's going to be over there with Executioners.
He's got a bit of an angle. He's got one down and finished. This is Kill Me 009. He's looking for more. He's got 2 enemies at his back. One's going to breach the corner. He's been spotted! Hey! And that's the end of that. That's the first team out of this game.
Kill Me Now, living up to it. Go ahead and getting killed right there. That's got to be the worst time to have that name on the face of the earth.
Wish granted.
You got exactly what you wanted, just not how you wanted it. So, all right, back over here in the school area, you can kind of see these guys holding each other off again. Not really have the capabilities to do a hard press at the time.
I think they do. We've seen NSD do this in the past. I think they've done a couple of hard pushes, and maybe they're starting to think, are we going to make this happen? And meanwhile, we have Raw. He's got one down, and they're looking for a quick finish. It looks like we have seen our first vehicle death happen here, and that's going to be a quick finish off as CSBG is going to lose one. the loot going to Raw.
Just charging over there, going to grab the loot real quick, and it's going to kind of dictate a little bit what could be happening around military base. There's a couple of squads that were thinking about setting up a bridge camp, but instead opted away for it at a certain point. We do have Squad 1, that's going to be Squad 6-9, that's kind of posted up on the northern part of it. Now finally getting a little bit of a skirmish around military base, and this isn't surprising, given how safe this zone is inside.
Well, I mean, this is now a battle for dominance over a very good spot. So between these two teams, they're in the barracks area of the military base. This is kind of a situation where you trade a lot. Now, we've already seen one player go down and be rezzed. This is the Chiefs we're looking at now. They're looking across the way and maybe looking to find an advantage, but if these fights are not decisive, Matrim, they can cost you later on.
Well, the whole time this is going on, keep in mind these squads are caught up and fighting with each other. They're bypassing all information on what's going on around them, and they're at a central hub where a lot of people are going to want to drop at. Meanwhile, you can end up with a little bit of, I guess, tunnel vision that kind of occurs. And next thing you know, there's a squad right on top of you,
NSD,
as we're seeing now. Finally, NSD coming alive.
They want to make a push here. They've made a play into the apartments across the way. It looks like it's mixed action. We're trying to figure out who will come out on top. And this looks like it might be NSD. Yeah, they're being run out of town. There's only one player left. Vampire, they've lost this push. They got aggressive, and it cost them.
Looks like they opted into trying to charge up those stairs. And yeah, we're popping in now. And just a great defense on the stairs coming out from the Mafia boys as they only lose one inside of it. And look, Vampire's having to run at this stage.
NSD is in trouble.
All of his teammates. He's got near on no life at this stage. Just a couple of bandages to work with. He's just trying to get out of here and just survive. He just wants to make it in the safe zone.
That's a frustrating start for a team. I encouraged it, but it didn't go their way. Rejoining, I think we're in Georgia poll now. We have Team 8 and Team 16 still kind of looking at each other. And now they're far outside the zone. The circle now closing.
Yep.
We talked about this in the last couple of games, and it's been a factor throughout this tournament, how waiting too long outside these zones can cost you. And this is going to be blue damage coming to one or two of these teams.
Well, it comes down to vehicle control at this stage. Can you get any form of control over a vehicle and get out in a safe fashion? Because naturally, if just one team can do it, the other team will just immediately move as well. But at the direct time, you can kind of see off in the distance,
got the vehicles,
UAZ. Yeah, they've got themselves a vehicle to work with, but they're just not opting in to move. And this can be extremely frustrating if you're the team that's wanting to get out but don't have access to the vehicles because you feel trapped by this other team.
Speaking of which, we have two other teams. This is down in the southern portion of the map. This is Team 11 and Team 17. They're also outside the zone, and the blue is closing. You can see it on your screen. And they've got vehicles to move with. So for TNW, they're going to be kind of left holding the bag, as it's going to be Team 17 getting around and away from them.
Looks like they were doing a little bit of a skirmish around, but finally we're starting to see something break out between Whitebeard Successors and Chiefs, as we do have one of the members from Whitebeard Successors, Squad 20, now down on the outside wall, should be able to res, but you can see Chiefs starting to get a little shark-like, trying to hunt around. They smell blood in the water, and they're trying to find it. Chiefs coming to that outside wall.
Ooh, doesn't want to go for it. The defense is on one side. He doesn't see him coming. He's not going to be able to get all the shots landing. He's got a sliver of life. Oh, they will trade.
They exchange. So with this, you can see God Among Kings still up and alive, can potentially get back over towards Name. Got to get the res, going to go ahead and finish it off. And Shiha's back over there with Chiefs. He looks like he was going to go on an outside flank, but got pushed back. So that left a teammate all by his lonesome.
That's maybe some miscommunication happening with the Chiefs. It looks like they were going to go out as two. There was a trade available, but it just lost, and now Shiha's going to have to back away and run. Him being the last man standing of his squad, this is looking like Team 20 is going to wrestle control of this area of the military base.
So you can see at this stage, they do have a lot of control over the area, but you got to say that Shiha can survive. Sure, Chiefs member, last member surviving at the direct time, but there are plenty of hidey holes around this area, and we do see that most likely the safe zone is going to shift towards this area. But we'll have to see kind of how that plays out. Now he's all by his lonesome. If he has to do a hard shift towards the north, he could be in a world of hurt, as there's not a lot of good ways to make it through, and just kind of hanging out on the bridge now.
This is Team 14. They've got the bridge, not necessarily camp set up, but they're on the bridge nonetheless, and they're going to back this thing away. They're actually pretty close to the center of the play zone, and that's kind of an advantage now. So they're going to maybe try and take that very important southern compound, but it's already been occupied. They have, I believe that's Team 13 right in front of them. So for Team 14, they've got to be careful, try and skirt away and out of harm's way from Team 13.
So many teams still right now inside the blue. Sure, it's an early circle, so it doesn't hurt a lot, but we've seen a lot of teams be entirely out of meds late.
Yep.
You don't want to burn through those resources at this stage. Next up, here comes the gamble. Oh, yeah, look at this. Just driving out the boat. just kind of making their way out here. Again, burning through a lot. Look at how many resources they have.
Far.
They have a
far
couple
away.
of bandages. They have 1 energy drink and 1 painkiller, and they've got essentially about a kilometer to go at this stage. That could be really, really bad for them because they're going to have to burn through so much stuff.
They should be able to make the next play zone without losing anybody, but they're going to be coming in a weakened state. We saw last game how many players got taken out of a boat fairly easily by one player, and they're going to be coming in, I think, around 50% HP, depending on who can get bandages and who has meds. But it's just going to be one of those situations where you're using already very short medical supplies super early, and you said it yourself, that's going to be a factor later on. So we have seen a circle shift, and that's going to increase the blue damage these guys are taking as well.
Well, they should be able to make it in right here, but it's kind of curious to see where the safe zone is going to come up and pop up for them. Where's the next rotation that everybody's going to have to make their way to? They do manage to make it over and instantly start meting up. Meanwhile, back behind them, we do have Team Nowhere riding around on their jet ski. They should be able to make it in, but it might be a little close.
He's even in worse shape. He's got less health. The zone has done increased damage, and there's so many players of his team still behind in the blue. This is a bad zone, and look at this. We've got Team 18 and Team 8 tangled up. It looks like Team 18's definitely got the upper hand. There's a bunch of dead bodies on the ground, down bodies on the ground.
Terrifying Nightmares continuing to live up to their name. They will not relent, and you can see
look at
somebody
this guy.
trying to come through.
Oh,
it's going to be the guys from Hisar coming through, trying to see if maybe they could get a run over, get something out of it.
It's not going to happen.
He's playing around the tree perfectly. That's what you want to do whenever you hear the vehicles come in. Just make sure that they can't hit you. If they try to make any type of play based off of it, they're just going to slam into the tree side. But you can see 8 in a world of trouble right now, and Hisar have been having a good couple of rounds, doing well on the leaderboard. Now this is going to be really bad for them.
I'm not sure what happened here, but you got to remember that Torpedo is outside in the blue taking damage. He's going to finish these guys off. He's got a vehicle to work with, but he's not really sure what's happening. So this is actually guys going down to the blue zone. I don't think that was attributed to anybody, just a 1 kill going to him. So for Torpedo, he's got a vehicle to work with and a couple of kills now, and he can rejoin his squad, or at least give them a lift on the way to the play zone, which is centering around that Pachinki area. And look at this. TNW taking so much damage, Matt.
Yeah, they've been out here for so long. There was Roach that was up ahead of them that was inside the jet ski. It's kind of scouting out. You can kind of see making his way in.
They had a gas?
Guys?
They might be at a gas or maybe having to stop. Maybe some panic setting in. Looked like Swag was pretty low health.
Meanwhile, Torpedo back over here with his stolen buggy. He's just going to go pick up some friends. Got a little bit of more of a skirmish that's happening. Again, it's going to be Whitebeard's successors under a little bit of pressure, this time from Raw down on Military Base Island. They do have control over this, and we talked about it. Circles collapsing here, so this is going to be where a lot of little bitty firefights are going to happen at.
So there's kind of a now percolating this fight. They're looking at each other, the two barracks right next to each other, trying to maybe find an angle, try and get that initial down, which would be super important, as it always is. And it looks like that's going to go to Raw, and the push immediately starts. They're going to come out, try and get an angle, and look, they're all forming up. They have the advantage. They're going for it. They're pushing on the low side. They want to follow up with the grenade. It's going in the top window. This is great teamwork coming. Raw gets a nade in the window. Will it be effective? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see what happens. It explodes. I think it will take one down, I believe, as now the breach is full underway. The shots come out, and now Raw is looking to try and press the action.
Whitebeard under a lot of pressure right now. They're just trying to hold that stairwell. A reload coming out at a terrible time. So now he's having to secure this.
He got one down.
Does get a nice spray on Awadu, so he's going to get that down. And look at this, just trying to capitalize off of it, trying to make sure that he doesn't get any form of retaliation coming back. But
Raw is losing this.
They lost hard.
They lost 3 players. They're all in the down state. And Hirsch has just got to leave. He's got to run away. That's harsh, excuse me.
Go over there and mop up the last couple of kills, get the loot based off of it. And I gotta say, it's almost like a loot delivery system now coming out for Whitebeard's successors. This is gonna be great for them, but they're still playing it a little antsy. They don't want to overextend for it, so they don't know where that last player went.
Yeah.
So that last player is kind of running off by himself and running right next to another squad.
Oh, that's unfortunate, as I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but I thought that was his teammate, regardless. Oh, no, they found the last player, I believe. That was CSPG maybe picking up Harsh on the way through, so that was that was an unfortunate turn of events. I think that was really God Among Kings. That was his play. He held that angle, and he did quite well with it.
A couple of pot shots now coming back over towards Tornadoes. You can see they're kind of holding down location just outside of Novo. We do have several squads that are still trying to make their way in. Finally, we do have Squad 7. That's going to be God's Reign, having left Yasnaya in no form of rush.
Looking here, they've got smokes down. They're trying to get around, but they're getting lots of pressure. That is a lot of shots coming their way. God's Reign out in the blue still. The circle is closing, and that is along the military island. Of course, that's the case. And now we have Team 18 coming along the bridge. That's Terrifying Nightmares, the current point leader. They're going to make a fairly easy entry into the zone.
Now, one thing to note is look at the positioning coming out from Team 6-9, our Squad 1. The blue ones, you can see kind of the arrows moving around right now. They're in a great spot with a lot of high ground positioning. So if they have the aim, they can really force a lot of awkward rotations or potential downs based off of their location. So it all depends. If they can secure the shots, if they can scare people away, they can really force other teams to fight each other.
Interior position being held now. Team 19's got, oh, look at this. He's got a line. Autocratic. He's going to jump out, maybe try and get some shots onto this vehicle. He's going to go in the prone position. He's got the SMG at the ready, but they're going to veer off, and that's a missed opportunity, unfortunately, for Autocratic. And F4 is having a swim from the looks of it.
That's Fantastic Four swimming with one of the last remaining members from Team Hussar.
Yep.
So they're all just kind of swimming around each other, like at this point, like, hey, what's going on, guys?
This isn't one of ours, I don't think.
Yeah. I wonder how long it took them. They were swimming along, and they were like, wait, who is this dude?
Vasu taking a couple of ticks of drowning damage, rejoining Team 2 and Team 19. Now, Team 2, I think, was forced to stop by Autocratic, and now they've got a bit of a three-way team fight happening. Team 2 in the middle of it all. Autocratic holding a wide flank position, but is all by himself as far as I can see, as the rest of his teams are still in Novo, and we're going to get a hard shift to the north, and that's going to include the water on the channel between the main island and the military base, and this is suddenly looking very good for Team 5.
I gotta say, if you're one of the swimmers at this stage, you just feel blessed.
Yep.
You were out there feeling like there was no way you can make any form of landfall. Circle shifts back over to you. Potentially now you can kind of storm the beach, get a little bit more control, and that's going to be another member of Annihilate gets spotted out. So Autocratic does get knocked down in retaliation, but Annihilate managing to stay alive, but now there's just one member off to the outside of this. So how is he going to make a play?
Looking now, oh, look at this. We have a bunch of people making landfall at once. It's Team 5. They have the zone and the advantage. F4 is looking like they're going to make a Normandy landing here. It's going to be very difficult for them. I'm not sure if they're aware of the fact that there's a team waiting for them in the wings. They've got all members in the zone, and they're trying to make a way. But look at this. The machine gun is set up and ready. They've got nowhere to go. They only have a boat to hide behind. This is not looking good. The boat goes up in smoke. And for F4, they're trapped out in the water. There's nowhere for them to go. This is looking good for Team 5.
Great game awareness right now from the guys from Excellency. They know the fact that people might have to be swimming across. They're just going to spread out a little bit, get control over this beachhead, move to the cover points, and just not let anybody have easy access on this. You can see, if you try to come up that beach, you're just going to get sprayed down. And I got to say, yeah, they're just hunting angles. They know that they're trapped back behind that boat. But remember, there is one member from Team Hussar that's kind of hanging out on the outside of this that might sneak back over to this.
He's out in the water. He's just having a little vacation out there. There he is.
Yeah, just floating around.
He's just chilling. So that's going to be it for F4, really. If they can get an angle and try and find a way to get some shots onto them, they're going to have no real opportunity to return fire. But Team 5 also, guess what, has a crate landing right next to them.
Just more and more blessings at this stage. I do have to say, though, if you're Team Hussar fans, you've got to be really excited to see how Excellency moved to that beachhead, because that really stalled Fantastic Four moving forward.
Hey,
it's going to stop him. Hey, just pop it back up. I love it.
There it is, F4.
Oh, yeah.
They're in
it's
trouble.
starting to get pretty rough here. It's literally shooting fish in a barrel at this stage.
Yeah, there's nowhere for them to go, and F4 has not been having a good day, and it looks like that's going to continue.
Ace Knuckle just hiding behind the remnants of the boat at this time. Now, he could potentially pop up and hit some type of play, but I wouldn't be surprised. He's just on damage control. We're at 18 teams still alive.
Well, there's a factor, Matchroom, is that when you're in the water and you die like that, it's an instant kill. So maybe Junior Panther assumes that there's nobody left.
This could be true, all depending on how he plays it. You can see that they did a full retreat off of it. Maybe they didn't keep track of the numbers. That's really, really important on these stages of the game.
Looking at Team 10, still making their way across. They're still in the water, but they've got the zone, but they've got Team 7 right above them. You have to wonder, did God's Reign spot them in the zone? God's Reign, the winners from last game. And the story now, look at Team 18. That's Terrifying Nightmares. They've got the perfect center position. They had no issues. And now they have 4 strong in the mid-game, and that's something that was a major factor in their first 2 victories.
Speaking of, we got our guys living in the shack life at this point. You can say way off in the distance, going to be Divinish from Annihilate. Annihilate's been kind of, lack of a better term, annihilated. They've been separated since the beginning of this game. Remember, we saw a drop coming in over next to the apartments area that just kind of gave them a very early casualty, and they've been playing off of a back foot since. But finally, we do have Mafia that's made landfall, but right next to him, like you were talking about, it's going to be God's Reign waiting. And again, they're riding a high right now after that last win.
Well, they brought their teammates across the bridge, and it looks like it's going to be Team 10 starting the engagement. God's Reign taking the low flank on that hill. They have a ridge to work with. They should be able to get around here and try and put some defense up.
But see, they're
Meanwhile,
shooting back up at a different squad. Yeah, I was going to say, God's Reign is not, that isn't even who they were popping shots at.
Yeah, well, God's Reign is actually shooting at Team 10. I mean, now they've lost their positional advantage, and now they have no cover either. They're stuck in the zone. This is now looking terrible for Team 10. They're going to try and make the way in, but God's Reign has them completely zoned. They have all the angles, and there's the next shift. It's dead center, and this is looking great for Terrifying Nightmares, but right now it's all about God's Reign. They're taking shot after shot, and look at this. Kilme's got nowhere to go, and down he will go, and that's going to be another couple of kills coming onto a team that needs them.
God's Reign, look at this, just holding a beautiful position, great awareness. They heard the shots, instantly spun back around it, but naturally there still is a member of Team Mafia still up and alive.
He's on the bridge with them. He's a norther on the bridge.
I believe he's right down below them, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, he's under.
He's swimming right down below him, just kind of watching this.
Sorry, team, you had your chance.
Oh, the joys of water circles and kind of floating out there. But everybody's playing for position. That's one of the reasons why we do still have 17 teams up and alive at this stage. A lot of people are kind of making a play out inside the water, but there's not a lot of water inside this next safe zone. Even our boy Vespura that's been hanging out there for so long is eventually going to have to make landfall, and we still have Excellency holding that beachhead.
This is not looking good for them, but for God's Reign, this is playing well. And look at this, we have an interior fight happening. It's Team 11 getting shot to pieces. That was Champ, I believe, getting the initial kill, and that's coming, from across the way. Team 1, they've had, I think, a bit of a rebound after their initial troubles in game number 1 and game number 2. And Swag is still on the move, but he's got near on no health.
Champ's been doing a great performance inside these rounds. We've seen a couple of little issues here and there from Team 6-9, but Champ has just been a strong performer in all things considered. So still up and alive, does have a duo partner that he can kind of make some plays based around. But you can see, it's right now, this is the topic. We've got Squad 18. Due up in the center. They have themselves a building. A little bit of shots going back and forth, but it's hard.
I think they've got one down, actually.
Yeah,
They're going to have to get a res. So now if you're Team 4, you know who's across the street from you if you've been paying attention. And there it is. Avi's holding that wide angle with the 4x scope. He's got the angle set up properly, and he's looking for a headshot. He lands, one, maybe two. Oh, the smoke is down, and that was really close. The follow-up coming from the teammates.
But here's the problem with that. You're throwing down the smokes. The problem that we were seeing where we had...
They could push off that smoke.
Yeah, they can push off the smoke because you don't want to run across that road.
Right.
Now CSP, they have everything down. They can make that cross.
I'm wondering, actually, if it's going to be Terrifying Nightmares making the push because they have all firing angles completely smoked off for CSPG, but I think the factor there is they still have maybe unknown variables and other teams hanging around.
Devinish, if you're the last person alive and you get a crate with the ghillie suit...
You might as well, but he's got lots of pressure coming his way. Yeah. CSPG with that long angle takes him down. Nice looking shots, and that'll prevent him from getting that crate loot, so they'll have to keep a mental note of that. And after this fight is decided, look at this, God Reign. They've had a push, but they're getting picked apart. They're stuck in the vehicle. Poro, your analyst is on point, but maybe this is going to become false. This is a potential vehicle wipe happening now for God's Reign, the winners from last game.
Well, it goes back into opting into two different vehicles. God's Reign, I think that they're just down to one at this stage. Sure, you can grab the vehicle and you can make the cross, but there was just too much stuff going on, and that's going to be God's Reign going down.
Wow, that's an unfortunate turn of events, but back here with CSPG, it is Terrifying Nightmares. They don't want to let this thing go quietly. They want those kill points. CSPG has lost Ted already. He's down and out of this game. It's a 4v3 situation, but there's other factors in play. The other one being that the circle has shifted away from both of these teams, and we're headed south.
Yeah, we're down towards the south. We still have Terrifying Nightmares inside the safe zone. It's going to be a predominantly hill battle, and a lot of these squads are going to have to push right next to where we have CSPG posted up at and Terrifying Nightmares.
Ace Knuckles in an interesting spot here. He's got a full squad sitting in a UAZ right on top of him. He has a play here, but is he willing to make it? He's so far from the zone. He's got such a long run. And it looks like for this squad, they're not going to want to make this vehicle push either.
Well, we got to remember, Ace Knuckle is all by his lonesome right now. It's not the Fantastic Four so much as it's the Fantastic One. He's just trying to bide his time, but like you're talking about, there's no good cross, and he's so late in this. He's just going to be running through a hail of bullets. Meanwhile,
it's going to be the zone at his back as well. We've only got a couple of seconds before the circle begins to shift once again. And Team 19 on foot, on the way. They're running right into the welcoming hands of Champ and Team number 1. This is looking good for Team 6-9.
Look at how many teams are playing edge. Nobody's opting into moving towards the actual hills.
Right.
So that means that we're just going to have a congestion of players all just popped up in touching distance of each other. So we might see some hard pushes coming out. 38 people still alive at this point, but it's just playing from cover piece to cover piece.
So the shots are coming out, Team 19 trying to put pressure on a long distance shots on the Team 17, but all that's doing is notifying team number 1, that's 6'9", that there's a player right in front of them. That's the dead body right there. I believe we've left that crate untouched, unfortunately, and that's outside the play zone. Team 5 right there behind it, maybe looking to try and make a play and grab that loot. But now the circle, this is another situation where they're maybe waiting a little bit too long. That circle is going to start closing and closing fast. And here we go. This is a situation where there's so many players outside the zone. They haven't made a decision on what they want to do. Team 1, Team 6'9" being one of them. Look at those shots coming in from behind. It's Team 19. They've surprised them totally. Champ is going down, and it's going to be Team 19 and Team 11 in tandem. But the zone is now on top of them. They're stuck outside.
Everybody's just doing the hard run right now, and you can see it's so fast. The blue is just trying to collapse as fast as possible. There is a UAZ. Can they make it to it? Can they survive this push? Because look how much tick damage is coming in through here. We've got Team 19, Team 11 is just on the outside of it. 11 finally goes down, and it's just time to go at this stage. Don't wait on your boys. Come on,
he's not going to make it.
He's not going to
They
live anyway.
waited too long.
You got to go.
They're not going to make it. They're not going to make it. It's so close.
Oh, he gets shot out of it right there towards the end of it. Everybody's just trying to drive into this last little bit of safety. As you can see off in the distance, one member of Team 11 is still alive, but this is turning up roses if you're a fan of Terrifying Nightmares.
This is looking great, and this is all positional awareness. They've done it time and time again. They've taken the strong position, and now they have a team right on top of them. Team 19 has arrived, and they spot him. That's one shot landing, but so did the med, and that's a team on the inside. That's Team 4. It's Rashad. He's trying to get around, trying to find an angle, but he's just not getting it. He's going to go down, and that's Team 4 getting another kill. This is looking good for CSPG. The res coming out, and the finish now as well.
They do have control over this area. The circle is probably going to shift somewhere a little bit further away from them. They're hoping for a hard shift at this point. Now it's all about angles. You can see the guys from Tornado. They're just trying to see if they can spot anything, if they can capitalize off this, any long-range shots. Everybody's making the switches over the DPs, trying to get the angles off of it. But look, it's just players everywhere. We still have 22 alive with 10 teams. That means there's a ton of solos and duos just hiding out.
Well, not to mention the circle again getting ready to shift. There's only 20 seconds before the next run comes, and so many are outside the play zone. This could be one of those circles where the zone takes so many lives. Look, almost everyone aside from Terrifying Nightmares, CSPG, and the remnants of Team 19 are outside the zone, and they're all having to run from the same direction. It's mutually assured destruction if you're on the southeast side.
Yeah, the southeast area of this circle is just going to be covered in people as they're making the approach. The front runner right now is going to be Team 13, but we've got Team 20 that's back behind it, and look at all of these solos that are coming through. Remember, this is going to be Whitebeard. This is where they were. This is their home. They started off in military base, and they've been slowly pushing through it. But it's just too late. Again, too late. You have to move faster than that. You're just allowing so much damage to go over to the blue zone.
16 is in the worst spot now, and they're getting downs on the outside of the zone. Meanwhile, Terrifying Nightmare still with 4 up. They're just going to be able to clean this up from the edge. They have a pretty clear line of sight, but look at this. It's SQ9. They've got a little bit of an angle. They're trying to tick one at a time. Team 13 is getting the worst of it. And now Team 16 haven't made the zone. He's got the shots lined up. He wants it, but they're going to move just out of line of sight. That's Nova just skirting away. Meanwhile, Team 20 at the low side of the hill, they've got vision as well. So if you're SQ9, you maybe have some decisions to make.
It's a lot of shots going back and forth, but it looks like Squad 99 has drawn a little bit too much attention towards themselves, trying to bandage up. I think that might be his last one. Yes, so now it's all just about aim and survival. Meanwhile, reses are going off on the other side. We still have 2 members right now. We've got God Among Kings still alive on that side of it, 2 members over here, but I think it's just coming down to health bars. We were talking about this. Everybody took so much damage off of really late rotations, early game. Look, no meds remaining, but some nice shots coming out from Squad 99. They do not want to go down
One
yet.
more. Oh, not going to happen.
He's trying to get it. So with this, you can start to see it's starting to get really, really explosive and Terrifying Nightmares just has line of sight. If they step out of any angle, they can see someone.
The nades coming out now. I think the utility down once again. I'm not sure if CSPG is trying to defend or if they're trying to be aggressive. Looks like they're just checking to make sure no one's sneaking around outside their hut. But look at that. It's Matrix actually putting pressure on a Terrifying Nightmares. He's the last man standing from his squad. His teammates in the down state. And that's going to be a long run for him. He's got a little bit of cover to work with, but he's got guys on his flank as well, Matron.
All right, now here we go. We talk about, sure, sometimes you get circle favor. Terrifying Nightmares did get granted the circle, but look, everybody is beaten in on them. There are squads positioned all around them. Any window that they peek from is just going to have bullets coming from it. Sure, there's a lot of solos coming through, but can they make the run through? You can see last member standing for Team 17 trying to hit the shots.
Coming back to it
Connect on one
now.
of them.
One goes down. He's got another one in his sights, and the spray comes down. He's looking for the
Missing.
final shot. He misses
Can't quite
one
connect.
after the other. It's not going to happen. He's getting pressure from the interior of the buildings. Terrifying
it.
Nightmares gets one down. He's going for it, but the zone's at his back as well. There's so much damage coming his way. Terrifying Nightmares loses one quickly, and just like that, he's going to survive for just a little bit longer.
And he manages to make landfall right next to him, so you can see there are two solos around. Make that one.
Wow.
But does get a little bit of retaliation damage down. Does get one of the members of Terrifying Nightmares down at the direct time. Matrix is still holding that outside angle behind that rock, but look, it's Squad 17 Baron right there, just biding his time.
He might get that res on the interior of the building, and they've got the zone. The Molly's in. The Molly's inside. That's right on top of everybody.
Everybody's
They're trying
on
to
fire.
res. They're on fire. They have to move. There's nothing they can do. And just like that, there's more coming out. Matrix is going for it. Terrifying Nightmares is on the ropes. They had the advantage, but it's slipping away. Matrix now has 2 left to kill, and the spray comes out. They're going for it so hard. If you're Matrix, you have to make a play. If there's more nades in the bag, you have to go to it.
You're the last member standing. Keep in mind, it's just the members from
going
Nightmares still
straight
up
in.
and alive. He's going for the
He's
charge.
going right in.
Takes a little bit of damage. Is he going to hit the sprays as he steps forward?
Oh,
And one of those
not
on the
gonna
outside.
happen.
And that's going to be another round win for Terrifying Nightmares.
Look at those faces. They got to feel good. They had their opponents right at their feet the whole time. That was a lot of management happening for Terrifying Nightmares. There's so many pressure coming from so many angles. Not a lot of kills, however, through that round, but another decisive victory for Terrifying Nightmares.
Now the big factor on that, not a lot of kills, so sure they get the position points, but there were a lot of really active fighters there at the end. I gotta say, Baron at the end of that coming through, 5 kills by himself. Only person on his team coming up really big there. Matrix trying to make the solid play, but I gotta say, CSPG, they've been doing such a good job. They're consistently performing in the top 5, and they're netting themselves some kills. That time they got themselves 8.
Yeah, that was a tremendous finish there, especially for Terrifying Nightmares. They were, they were being assaulted from all angles, and they had the position, and that's been the key for them. Playing the position, taking the position, whatever you need to do, it's so important, and they've done that again with another victory. But you said it yourself, Baron, with 5 kills, the only person with kills on his team. That was a terrific run by him at the very end of that game.
Yeah, he was so influential on that. If we could have potentially seen Matrix move just a touch faster there, Poro, oh my God, we might have seen something totally different.
Matrix and Baron tried so hard for the hero play on both sides, perfectly timing it. They knew exactly when to go in, and just a little bit off, but Terrifying Nightmares. I mean, what can you say about the formula? Take compound, hold compound, question marks, profit.
You know what?
Just take whatever center.
It's a tried and true trope of PUBG.
Yeah.
It's been take that good position and defend it as best you can, and that's been the key for them. They're pulling it off. They're executing it masterfully. Yeah. Other teams should be taking note.
Well, I mean, we've been saying it over and over again. It's like we're hitting our head up against a wall. Dive center, take a compound, hold that compound for as long as you can. And Terrifying Nightmares is doing it, and it's paying off. I mean, that's 3 wins on the day.
The edge game is just killing too many people. The blue is just decimating them. They have to get ahead of the curve.
If I see Tornadoes die to blue zone one more freaking time,
that's
Tarandos.
Tarandos.
Tarandos. I'm going to go up there. I'm going to go up there and have a talk with them. Like, look, it's not working out, guys.
Yeah,
blue zone.
It's not your friend. Stop touching the stove.
Yeah, it's just at some point you got to break away. Now that being said, we also did see Whitebeard's successors have a good, strong performance inside that round. They managed to survive for quite a while, managing to net themselves 5th place. They've been kind of quiet. They've been very active in the early game, but not necessarily the strongest towards late game. Finally, we saw them really survive for quite a while.
So now the question stands. Terrifying Nightmares has done so much. They've won 3 out of 5 games. It's going to be a big lead.
Yeah.
I mean, at this stage, they have to be feeling so good about their chances to win the whole thing.
Well, I think it also is starting to come down to, do we get a 3rd winner? Like,
Right.
I mean, God's Reign's been very strong in their performance in there. Let's be honest. Terrifying Nightmares.
Not a lot of room, is there?
They're being pretty dominant. So, do we get a 3rd winner coming in, or do we potentially see one of those two come back and get another round victory?
I think.
How did Mafia do last game?
Mafia?
Yeah, because they were the 2nd place team, right? So, I mean, I don't see them in the top 8, so that's going to be a big problem for them. They were the closest. So
and God's Reign.
I think it's going to be Terrifying Nightmares, CSPG, God's Reign, and then God's Reign isn't there either. So really, this is looking like it might be not a foregone conclusion, but this is going to be a situation where if you're anywhere in the top 5, you have to have a great last game.
I know, well, I gotta say, I know we've talked about a whole bunch of different stuff. That Molotov throw from Baron,
Yeah.
it was so
awesome.
beautiful. It was so beautiful.
awesome.
But I think that we actually are set and ready to do another interview with Terrifying Nightmares.
I believe so,
But
yeah.
we got to
What
continue
else
to
do they
pick
have to
their
say?
brain.
We'll kick it back over to the stage with, I believe, Terrifying Nightmares once again.
All right, guys, make it louder.
What an electrifying comeback by Terrifying Nightmares. They're actually being a nightmare to all the other players out there. Make some noise for them.
Woo.
So quickly
You
getting...
guys were looking very stressed when you lost the last game. So now you're back to the place where you belong. I'm sure you guys had a lot of things to talk to each other. Yeah? We want to hear them all. Do we want to? So let's hear the players who have just won the game talk to each other. Whatever you guys having a conversation, please continue.
Come
Let
on,
the
let's
whole
go for
world
it.
watch that. Let your emotions flow right now.
I'd like to know what were your views, because I was knocked out. You both of you were alive for the last person. Both of us were knocked out because of the Molotov. What were your views on that? Because you all were the sole survivors of our team.
I seriously thought that we are going to lose the game because of the Molotov. Whoever that guy was, great Molotov. But we survived, and this guy had full health. So
Because of that only I charged from right side. Because of that only I charged from right side.
he did a great job in the last game. He was the MVP, the real MVP, if you go to see. And everything went great. Last game was disappointing, but we have to learn from our mistakes.
The
That's
third
it.
game, obviously, because we wanted the match number 3 also there, hoping to add the 5 there, and if not, hoping to take the trophy away.
Yeah.
So is it important to stay in the safe zone or to kill your enemies? I want to know from this team, definitely.
I'll give you one example which happened to me in the game, whether or not it was displayed. So we didn't have a car. We only had buggy, which only takes 2 members. I had to go fetch for a car. I was outside the zone. A buggy was just chasing me with 2 people. I was alone. So they hit me with 2 shots. I didn't know what to do. I just jumped out of the buggy and just like knocked them both, and they died because of the play zone anyways.
So you guys are playing as a team and winning as a team together. I think they deserve another big round of applause, guys.
Come on,
Make it
everybody.
louder.
Come on, show some love.
PUBG Mobile, presented by Oppo F9 Pro, is going super crazy. And we're going to see you on the other end of the match. Let's see what the victory says. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Please take back to your seats. Thank you.
You guys stay tuned, because we've got the 5th round, the final round, who will decide who will be the India's first ever PUBG Mobile Campus Champion.
Any guesses, guys? Any guesses? Can I hear you louder? All right, keep your guesses alive. We're going to bring the winner right after the 5th match. And over to the ad. And we will see you on the other side of the break. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oppo Selfie Expert.
All right, well, we are almost there at the very final game. I am WTF Moses, joined for the last game with Matra and Poro. We have seen one team take a massive lead, and they now have victory in sight, but it's about staying composed, making sure that they can stay strong headed into the last game.
Yeah, the hosts were asking if there was any guesses as to who the champion might be. Everybody was kind of like,
It's pretty good.
I think Terrifying Nightmares might have a shot at this.
Might have a decent
pretty good
shot,
about
all
it.
things considered. They're feeling pretty good. You can see whenever they're sitting there talking about, like, I love the way that they're even talking to each other. Like, hey, so give us some thoughts at the end of it.
I was dead.
You told me I was dead.
dead.
Like, I love the fact that they can just like be jovial with each other about
I've
stuff
been
like
there.
that.
Where like, I don't know. I was getting a coffee at the time. So anyway, as far as their team play is concerned, they had some pressure coming their way. And looking back at the last game, there was a lot of different interesting moments. This was a team wipe early in the game. I mean, for CSPG, they didn't have the best of go here when they got flanked in their vehicles. There was no real movement there.
I do have to say, I love this firefight that comes out. Chiefs was going for it. Look at that one bullet. It was really all it took. Got amongst King, spins back around from Whitebeard, gets the shots off, and then they just continue to hold down this area for so long.
Autocratic stepping out and getting a kill and going for the full flush, but getting punished at distance from a teammate, and this was F4. Stuck out in the bay. Nothing to really be done there, as I believe they did get stuck out there, but I think they did escape as well.
Poor Mermaids, and look at this solid. We talk about gatekeeping inside of PUBG. This is a beautiful example of it. Just getting the inside beat, getting inside the safe zone, and just spraying down everybody as they're trying to make the approach from the blue.
VSS shots not quite landing for Torpedo, but this was the end of the game where, or at least close to the end of the game, where there was so many teams trying to make their way in. I mean, God's Rain just couldn't make entry into the zone.
There's still 44 people alive, and you can see that it still took all of those people to do that much damage to the UAZ as it was trying to escape. So they were trying to make their distance on it, but it was just so rough. Champ just getting caught from behind. You could tell, like, where are these bullets coming from, and just gets dropped.
And there it is right there. It was TNW eventually going down, and I mean, there's also the zone. I mean, again, I would say probably the MVP of the round.
That's got to feel bad. Whenever you die because you get shot, and then it like spin around and you see the person that shot you dies to the blue zone immediately afterwards, it's just like, oh, you're going to take me down for it. I see how it is.
And yeah, in this moment I would be panicking. Like, you have a med just being finished, but ultimately it was, honestly, the player of the game for me, he was Varen.
Yeah,
he did
such
so
a great job.
much. He did so much in this game. You know, trying to survive as a solo player. The spray down was excellent. Not to mention he turned on a guy. I think it happens right now.
Yeah, it's right
it was
here.
one of the team. It was one of the Terrifying Nightmares guys. He was so down the scope, but the quick turn, the reload, and the turn right here, like, that was just masterful play.
Oh, and
then the Molly right on top of everybody. That was almost disaster for Terrifying Nightmares.
Well, I bet you can see, like, going for the rest. It's like, no, this isn't going to work. What do we got to do? Torpedo taking a lot of damage there based off of it, and that is the moment that Matrix comes alive.
I think Matrix saved him.
Tries to go for the spray. Yeah.
I think Matrix almost saved Terrifying Nightmares there. They did manage to get the med off at the very end of that match, but I think they're happy watching back. But now we have the updated Match 4 scoreboard, and looking at this, one of the better teams, Shield, going out last place.
Yeah.
NSD, same thing. Mafia was in 12th place. God's Reign, 13th place. That's a big deal. If you're counting points, that means that Terrifying Nightmares is going to leapfrog a bunch of teams that were close to them already.
We're doing a lot of talk about who gets first. But let's talk about the fact that there's also a lot of other breakdowns. Everybody that's competing inside of this wants to naturally try to aim for the top spot, but if not, try to get as high as humanly possible and go for some of those other side things like MVP, most kills, all that other stuff. And this is their last round to do it. So can you make the stab? Can you make the jump up towards Nightmares? Might be a little bit hard, but if you're Squad 99, if you're CSPG, if you're the Ravengers, I gotta say you still have a decent chance for aiming for that number 2 spot.
Yeah, I mean, this is your time. This is your opportunity to make a statement, not only for yourself and for your team, but also for your entire region as far as it goes with PUBG Mobile and competitive PUBG in India.
One of the things I've been really enjoying is actually, you heard them talk about community, since this area is just now growing up and really starting to embrace like PUBG Mobile in its own fashion. And you can see it with the players. They're really nice towards each other. Anytime somebody's going up on stage, they make sure to like platform and like give them the high fives as they're going up there. Any of the little video packages, everybody's just like cheering on everybody. But then the moment the game comes on, man, you can see people beat it, and it's like, no. Now it's game time.
Yeah, I remember when we were nice to each other back in the day.
Way back.
That's over now.
It's
That's over now.
Those days have passed.
It's been a hot minute as of this stage. But I gotta say, it's all coming down to this now. We have one last round. And I gotta say, we have a pretty dominant storyline that's kind of starting to develop. Well, I can't say starting to develop.
Yeah, it's developed.
Yeah,
it's
and
an
I gotta
adult
say, it's
now.
pretty far back there. Yeah, it's full on. It's like a grown adult at this point. Terrifying Nightmares is somebody to keep an eye on. But now, how big of a statement can they make? Because remember, you still have the capabilities for playing for the Star Challenge as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's looking forward a little bit down the road, right? I imagine now that if you're Nightmares, you've seen a pretty dominant performance, and we've been talking a lot about them. But if you're these other players, just a little bit below, I think CSPG, has been the kind of understated team.
Yeah.
I think they had a little bit of a rocky start, and that's to be expected. We're in the first mobile tournament in India. These guys have never been in this position before, and to perform or to at least get comfortable takes at minimum one game or one tournament, depending on who you are.
Well, a lot of adaptation, specifically from a lot of these players. We talked about it round one, about how it's just coming and playing out of LAN for the first time, having an audience around you, having your teammates actually just sitting next to you instead of just talking through comms and everything else like that. It's very mindset changing if you're not very careful with it. And I gotta say, it's kind of like that rise moment for a lot of people. If you can play in this type of environment, you are good and golden to shoot through.
Absolutely. I want to know who's going to drop a Chinky.
That's the question.
Yeah.
I mean,
Who's
Terrifying
gonna do
Nightmares is clearly in a position atop the leaderboard, and there's a bunch of people looking up to them. And maybe now, we've seen this in tournaments very recently in the PC side, where they could have maybe 2-3 teams drop in their area. So I guess then, since you brought it up, maybe we'll see a bit of a change in their strategy. But I believe we have another player interview set up. We are very close to game number 5. The ultimate game will be there very shortly.
When we got to know about the tournament, we were like really confident that like we'll make it to some stage, and we started with like 3 consecutive chicken dinners. We had like 32 kills in the first match, 18 kills in the second, 15 in the third. Went like all aggressive. We were like, it was really tough. Like in the center part with the semi-finals part came. Before that, it was like still easy, but then it really became a bit tough. Like then finally this last semi-final, I think we did the chicken dinner and a lot of kills, and we're here finally. It was like a very tough journey. Okay, one that's most embarrassing is we have like a 2-people squad left that's in the garage building, the garage building, in the balcony, and the circle is pushing us. And he's spectating me and he tells me to like throw a grenade, to this. And I'm not really good at, the grenade part. I'm just do the low toss. I hit the wrong ball, it comes back to me. It knocks me out. And Harsh is like half HP, and they have realized that the grenade had hit us. The team pushes down, and I mean, that was like the worst moment that I had. I've been gaming for years, so my parents were really like, you should go for it. And I think everyone's parents were like fine with it. They were like, you've earned it, so yeah, go for it.
Well, I'm glad to hear that there are supportive parents out there willing to support gaming,
exist.
and they do exist. I'm WTF Moses, joined by Matchman Poro. We are ready, almost ready, I should say, by for the last match of the day, the ultimate game. We have one person right above me. I was just about to ask you this question, Poro.
Okay.
Do you think that Terrifying Nightmares switches up the strategy, drops somewhere else?
I don't know.
They didn't. They haven't. I mean,
they haven't done it yet. They've been pretty secure with how they've been performing at Pachinki, and when they did get dropped, they won the battle. So why change it if it's working?
Well, they kind of won the battle. They survived the battle.
They
out
survived
anything
the
else.
battle.
Like they lost 2 members, and the other team managed to make it away with 4. So I don't know. Like I think the big question is, everybody's going to be aiming for those like top couple of spots. Do they take the risk on dropping them? Because naturally, we can talk as much as we want to about like throwing Terrifying Nightmares off their game, but what happens if you drop and you get the... and you don't necessarily
get Terrifying Nightmares, do what you want.
Yeah.
Do what you want, all right?
Just hop in some UAZs, drive in some circles, try to see what you can get out there.
4 corners strat, meet up in the middle. That is quite a lead there.
So, Terrifying Nightmares, they're feeling pretty good. Now, the question really stands now between 3 and 4. I mean, they're the two teams near the bottom there. Not to mention Squad 99, who's moved their way up to that second place position. almost no chance that they can catch Terrifying Nightmares unless they go out immediately with no kills, and then Squad 99 has the game of their lives.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the question. If you're Squad 99, your only chance in life is, if you want first place, to drop Nightmares and try to wipe them out. But the problem with it is, if it goes sideways, your second place spot, now gone.
Yeah.
And it's such a huge risk if you want it. Now look at the prize breakdown that we're looking at right now. First place, ton of money, and then a third of that for second place. That hurts.
I mean, and that's the difference. That's a massive difference between first and second place. Where do you want to risk it? Do you want to go for that risk? I mean, really, if you think about it, the difference between second and third place not quite as drastic, but still, I mean, that's money out of your pockets, I should say. But there's, I mean, maybe you want to go for more kills, or you're trying to get that MVP spot.
Maybe try to make a statement. I mean, you know, we're like we said, there's been PUBG Mobile tournaments. This is our first major one, but this isn't to say that there's not going to be more. And, you know, you're going to want to make a statement in this first one to let everybody know that you're serious and you're for real.
The hosts have been talking about it. This is going to be one of those things that people remember.
Yes.
PUBG esports, as far as the mobile side, is really taking off in India. So everybody in the audience will remember back to that first tournament they competed in. All the players will remember it. You want to walk away with a statement. If you can't get first, you want people to remember your name.
You know what? Speaking about firsts, I remember, and just to give you guys some context, my first PUBG PC tournament was in the basement of a place in Tennessee, and there was maybe about 100, there was maybe 70 people there. To have this be the first tournament, you guys are in a position to have one of the better organizations, and I mean one of the better events I've ever been to ever. And this is only the beginning, so that's something to keep in mind, especially if you're a player. Maybe you didn't have the best day. This is just the start.
So that's one of the things I want to shout out is if you guys are watching this and you're having a blast, make sure you support the players. Give them some love on social media. Hop on Facebook. Hop on whatever it is you use.
Give
and
them a
say
hug.
Like, hey, yeah, no, just be like, hey, give them an extreme hug.
Yeah, an extreme hug.
Extreme hug. So just make sure you give them some love. So one thing, naturally, I know everybody wants to like say, oh, look at the champions, but there's a lot of people competing here that went through a long process.
Be proud. Be proud.
Like, we're talking hundreds of thousands of people that they had to play through to get to this stage. So make sure you give them some love, even if they didn't get in first place, because, man, they deserve it.
Absolutely. Well, Poro, I mean, this is the last game of the first tournament. Now, eyes moving forward, we have Dubai down the road. If you're a team that maybe didn't have a good tournament, this is maybe a situation where you have some lessons to learn. What are you looking for some of these guys? What should be the primary lesson that you're taking away from this?
Well, I think that you take the experience, right? You take the good and the bad. You try to take the bad stuff and learn from it, obviously. But I think going forward, you also need to kind of keep an eye on the next tournament, right? You want to see, everybody wants to see where India stacks up in terms of you know, international competition when it comes to PUBG Mobile. And from what I've seen, I will say I was at the EU finals for PUBG Mobile, and I saw the teams that won. Everybody up here, I think, can compete with anybody in EU. I think they can compete with anybody in North America. And I think India is going to go into that finals with something to say. And teams are going to be having to look out for, if it's Terrifying Nightmares, they're going to have to be worried about those guys coming in.
Now, I think a big factor for it comes into how much do the rest of the players that competed inside this really rally behind the winner, because that tends to happen. Naturally, some type of national pride starts coming out and being like, okay, you're our team, let's see what we can do to help you out. Like, let's try to work together, let's talk strategies, let's see how far we can propel our region to make that statement on an international stage, because I'm sorry, if I'm India right now, that's what I'm looking forward to at this point. It's like, I want to make a statement on the biggest stage for PUBG Mobile.
Well, it's a global phenomenon, and it has been since the beginning. I mean, with the original release of PUBG, now with PUBG Mobile, following almost the same track of success and really exceeding so many expectations. When I first heard about it, I was like, how will you get a game so complex to a phone? And I mean, I've played it. We've all played it. It is a one-to-one representation. It's a technical marvel on top of that. And I mean, when you're taking it now to a global tournament where every region in the world is going to be represented, that's a massive achievement to even be a part of it. So again, you've said it, we've all said it, you should all be proud of participating.
Absolutely.
And this is just the beginning. So now, looking into the last game, I guess how do you take maybe that pride that you feel getting here and translate that into a good last game? If you're in the last place, if you're the last place team, what do you do?
How brave are you? That's where the real question starts to come into play. How brave are you in this situation? Who do you want to drop on? Do you want to drop? Do you want to try to cut somebody off? Everybody's been playing together at this point. They should start having a little bit of awareness. We keep seeing people like run down and talk to like coaches or friends or whatever and be like, okay, what do we need to improve? Who out there is actually paying attention to drop strategies and giving that back to players and saying, hey, are you aware X team drops right next to you? If you move here, you might be able to catch them when they rotate out.
I think if you're a team that's lower down on the bracket, I say you definitely go for an early game fight and see what you can get away with.
Yep.
Obviously, you come into a lane, you're feeling the nerves, the pressure. Now we're going into the last game. You pretty much kind of know where you're standing, so to speak,
Right.
you know, give or take a couple of places.
Right.
But I think that this is one of those times where you want to see how good you really are. So go and drop on somebody that you know is right next to you. Don't avoid the fight.
Let's not encourage hot dropping
Not
too
hot.
much.
Hey,
not too
I'm
much.
just saying,
Not
I
too
want to see
much.
fights.
But
all
if
right?
you want to drop and you want to go
I'm
for the fight,
encouraging
all
it.
right.
I'm
All right.
encouraging
All right.
it.
All right.
Get out there and hot drop somebody. Let's make this thing interesting. you
Drop
know?
it. Like next thing you know, it's just going to be like you're going to see like Nightmares is going to drop a Pachinki, and there's going to be like 50 parachutes coming down and be like, oh well, this is going to be.
Actually,
a thing.
it's going to be some other team that also hot drop Pachinki, and they're all going to be fighting each other.
Yeah.
No
Meanwhile,
one's gonna have
Nightmares
any-
is like
Meanwhile,
over.
Nightmares is in
Yeah,
Delta.
not-
Yeah, there's
they're
somewhere
hanging
else
out and be like,
entirely.
you guys have fun over there.
I mean, I was noticing, I was turned around watching these guys, they were just kind of talking amongst themselves. I think there is a little bit of trash talk starting to happen.
Good.
So
That's the fun part.
they're all
That's
looking
the fun
around
part.
talking to each other. So, I mean, it's the last game. They might feel confident, but that doesn't mean it's going to be easy.
I think that's really what it's starting to come down to. So with this, it looks like it's that time.
It is that
Moses.
time, and we're about to toss it to the stage. This is game number 5. We're almost ready, and we'll see you there, and just don't go anywhere.
Red zone will be activated.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. This is the last game. The plane is in the air. Are you ready for the ultimate game here at the PUBG Mobile Championship?
Intro video hit it magnificently. Hundreds of thousands of players whittled down to the final 20 teams, and now it's all about who can walk away with the victory. It has been a week of intense competition, and it all comes down to this last round. Plane path going right over Yasnaya, right over George Pool, where we've been seeing everything.
And this is going to be another situation. We're looking for that team icon, that Team 18. Are they going to switch it up? Are they going to give up Pachinki? Is it a point of personal pride? Are they going to continue to loot the same place over and over, knowing that maybe they'll have teams headed their way to try and ruin their chances at victory? They are out of the plane and they are headed south. It looks like Team 18 is going to continue to go to Pachinki, and it looks like they're going to have some friends along for the ride.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it at this stage. They're going for it, but it looks like, again, like you said, Squad 6. Fantastic Four looks like one of the teams that's wanting to come up and try to make that statement. Maybe kind of mess with them just a little bit. Keep in mind, they have dropped in this location a couple of times and not always worked out the best for them. But Fantastic Four does have a lead in on them. They will land first, so could potentially grab those guns beforehand and turn it back around.
So it looks like the initial drop, it looked like it was going to be crowded, but it is only going to be Team 6 joining them in Pachinki. So Terrifying Nightmares might be able to pick up a couple of early kills here. But for the most part, looking around the map, that center region, specifically around Razak and that school area, are again going to be massively popular along with Georgia Bowl.
We've been seeing a lot of violence, specifically on this plane path. We've seen Yasnaya not necessarily be a big feature inside of it, but I gotta say, Rajak, school, apartments, Georgia Pool, those have just been feast for early game kills. Circle pops up and nobody's in a rush to go anywhere. But hey, everybody's sharing this. Look, there's multiple people inside this. We got squad 8 and 4 all riding together.
Well, it's either a kidnapping or they're just being friendly. But they can't shake them out of the vehicle. They're just trying to see if they can get anyone down and out here. So for Team 8 and Team 4, the fight over the one vehicle not going as they expected.
Like driving around trying to figure out what to do. You can see that one of the members right now from Team Asari is just kind of bouncing around the outside of it. Meanwhile, CSPG, they've been doing very well. They're up at the top of the leaderboards. There's a couple of members from their team inside of this. They've got to figure out some way to get out because they're not in the driver's seat.
Now a bit of a hostage situation. Got to watch out.
All right.
They brought him to a vehicle.
Oh, brings him to a gun. That's going to be 2 people from CSPG down right there off the get-go.
I was waiting for that to happen. I was waiting for that to happen when you saw the other guys over at the huts. Now Team 8's going to get the benefit. They're going to jump in the vehicle and off they'll go. That's 2 down early very quickly. CSPG, that's the second place team.
Yeah, that is troubling for them because now they're going to have to play full-on defense, just survival mode at this stage. Meanwhile, our guys, Whitebeard's successors, they are posted up, taking a couple of pot shots over towards the guys from Team Nowhere. You can see kind of playing on the outside of this. They are in the Rajak area. Not necessarily a really hot spot as of yet, but a couple of bullets that have gone back and forth. As you can see, Swag's taking a touch of damage.
CSPG not feeling very happy up there. They're not having a good start to this game, losing the first couple of players very quickly. Joining now in the Razak spot, we've got Team 20. They're just kind of chilling. They've got all 4 players relatively close together. Down in Novo, it's the team of Raw. They've got all four of their squad together, but they're getting pressure.
6-9. Look at this Min from 6-9 on the outside approach, trying to make a flank around the outside of the warehouse. They can have 2 different approach angles and really just kind of crush in onto Team Raw if they're not careful. Raw has to hold these angles so meticulously.
Looking at the circle, this is a bit of a change-up. We've seen military, we've seen east. Now we're headed west. The circle centered around Gatka. Terrifying Nightmares, relatively slow start for them. They've got Pachinki relatively buttoned up, no fights happening. A couple of teams headed down to the military base, but Georgia Pole, this is where the action is happening. Excuse me, I thought we were in Novo, but this is the Georgia crates.
Well, we're getting in for a little bit of a more relaxing start than what we've been seeing so far. Circle does favor most of the teams, really only like 5 on the outside of it right now. Right. But it is going to be the guys from Hisar running into more trouble if this is a bridge camp over here.
I don't think it's a camp. I think this is just a situation where Team 3 is also in their vehicle. But yes, they will be joining alongside on that military island. Slow start to the loot phase if you're Hisar. Maybe you got those 2 kills onto CSPG, but not a lot to show for it, as they still have not made entry into their loot spot. Joining now, this is Pachinki. Team 18, actually this is Terrifying Nightmares again. Yep. they're relatively split inside this Pachinki region, but they're not getting pressure from Team 6.
Well, Fantastic Four, Team 6, they managed to drop early, so they managed to kind of force everybody from Terrifying Nightmares to make plays around them, and they're staying very bolt.
They're going to hear them. They're going to hear them. I mean, this is a situation where F4, we have not seen a decent team fight from them yet today. It's not been going their way. Look at this. It's Team 14, and this is 6-9. They still want to get those early kills.
Here
And
it
they're going to
comes.
put a pressure on. Look at the bunny head. He's coming across. He wants some murder.
But they're waiting for it. You can tell everybody from the inside of this, the guys from Raw know that this is coming. How's Min Min going to make this play? You can see somebody sitting on the outside. Beautiful spray to get the first one down. Doesn't even take any damage off of it. This is the capitalization moment. Now a little bit of spray back and forth.
They got a flank coming on the other side, on the north side of the warehouse. And just like that, Team 14 is getting sewed into this warehouse. They're being boiled alive. They can't move. They're stuck inside.
They're just getting
trading
destroyed.
one at a time.
This is flipping. You can see everybody from Team 6-9's now starting to go down, and it's going to be the guys from Squad 14.
Wow, wow.
Just hold their ground, and they say, no, this is our place.
6-9 wanted it, and that is a disaster for them. It looked like it started so well, but it came apart so quickly. That's a heartbreak for 6-9, but for Team 14, that looks great. That's a great start.
I thought that Team 6-9 had that. They hit that first spray, took no damage. You saw the outside flank come into play, and whenever they charged through that doorway, man, things just came apart.
Well, that's that. That's the first, second team, I should say, out of the lobby. And now I have to wonder, I'm looking back up at the top of the stage there. I don't remember seeing the rest of CSPG go up, but they might be the second team out of the lobby as well. So we'll see if we see any Team 4 on the next map we take a look at.
Doing a quick glance around the
I don't
outside.
see him. I think maybe CSPG might have been out of the game too.
Tornado way up towards the northern area, over next to Stolver, just kind of hanging out. That's kind of about the safest drop that you can go with on the face of the earth. Not going to usually end up with too much congestion happening over there. Meanwhile, back over Pachinki, you can see that it's going to be Fantastic Four guys still caught up and being a little bit of a thorn in the side of our present leaderboard winners of Terrifying Nightmares.
Well, they're trying to form up here. I think they want to get a team fight started. F4, it's Ace Knuckle. He was the last man standing for his squad the last time around, trying to go for that pre-fire. Shooting only wall at that stage. You got to aim for the player, not the walls.
You got to teach Pachinki some respect sometimes. Yeah. Like, no. This is my place. You can't. You stop messing with me.
So they're making some plays here, looking for that peek. He's got the AK at the ready.
Now, one thing that's interesting, we saw Terrifying Nightmares making plays up on top of the roofs in one of the earlier games.
He's got an angle.
It gets shot from the outside of it, so that's going to be an early down. And look, Fantastic Four starting to come a little bit more alive, trying to find the angles. Torpedo on the outside of this. Are we going to see? Does Ace Knuckle know where he's at, or is he going to walk into a line of fire?
So the flank defense of Torpedo is set up on the exterior. Now here comes the follow-up grenade. Can he land it through one window, through two windows? Maybe it's there. It does not land properly, unfortunately.
Close.
F4 still looking for a seam, but they haven't pressed the action. They have the advantage. But look at this. They have the rooftops.
Yep.
And Spider-Man, once again, he's on the exterior. He maybe has an angle. He's looking for the shot. He wants to find someone standing still. Does Hitman know he's there? Another nade following up from F4, looking for more. And it looks like they did get the res up and done. So now the man advantage goes back to equal.
I love this play from up on top of this. You get complete sight lines. One of the problems with playing around an urban area is you're forced into windows and trying to peek from windows. With this, you can see reposition, peek back up, take a couple of shots, move a couple of feet over, make sure that nobody knows exactly where you're doing that beat in. Hitman already taking some damage. You can see the moment he hits, just steps up and he's like, no, we're going to go ahead and finish these down. Hit a little bit more damage onto it, and I got to say Fantastic Four starting to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I think they may have lost their momentum after they didn't follow up on that down, and now it's just a matter of follow-up, and there's only one team that wants to be aggressive, and that's Terrifying Nightmares. They've got two up. They've got two up. Yeah, they have a flank down, but Lone Wolf is kind of out of position. They maybe go for a res here. This is kind of slow going here in Pachinki as both teams have taken damage, but no one wants to get super aggressive. More shots landing on Ace Knuckle.
Well, they technically are inside the safe zone, so they're in no rush. It's not going to be until we actually see them forced to potentially move that we might see this escalate. You can tell that right now, Terrifying Nightmares, while they keep getting these downs, they keep getting the damage, they don't want to make the cross because they don't want to worry about losing somebody that early. Meanwhile, Lone Wolf starting to be a little bit of a troublemaker off to the side of it, necessarily not hitting the shots, but forcing everybody to pay attention to him, so giving the rest of his teammates a little bit of a reprieve.
Looking now, there's no angle set up there. I'm not sure what can be done. There is a Mark 14 crate out by the hospital, but there's nobody anywhere near it. That might be a lonely, unclaimed crate rejoining Pachinki. This is still Terrifying Nightmares taking it to Fantastic Four one at a time as best they can.
Look at the reposition.
This is a problem for Terrifying Nightmares because they're not taking any time to loot, and that means they're using that med, using the armor, ammo, whatever you wanna say. But it's the same for F4, and I mean now they have the red zone coming down on top of them.
So even whoever wins this fight, whenever you go to loot somebody else, you're not going to get anything off of it. So you can see that we can see the high ground coming through right now. Terrifying Nightmares trying to make some useful plays that are coming through, but some nice shots coming out there. Hitman trying to connect off of it. Can he get anything more? You can see nobody really wants to come alive. Red zone now active on Pachinki. Surprise, surprise. We never see that happen.
It only goes one place. It only goes one place.
Only ever goes to Pachinki, and so that's going to be why everybody stalls for just a second.
Kind of a stalemate. I don't really know. Like, Lone Wolf has got the flank set up, but he's not really doing anything with it. Hitman's been the most active, and now they've kind of lost the advantage of audio. If they can get the down on this rooftop, that might be a big bonus for them, and maybe they use that to leapfrog. He got the headshot. Oh, no follow-up, unfortunately, as they back away. The res has come back. Actually, Ace Knuckles gone down. I believe that might have been a finish as well. I'm not sure what happened to Ace Knuckles.
Oh, but here we're finally seeing a couple of shots come through, so that makes this a 3v3. And you can see a little bit of trouble coming through. Let's go, Lone Wolf. He managed to get up on the rooftop. Very sneaky little play coming over there, and it's going to be everybody else from, let's see, Terrifying Nightmares retreating back to the hillside. I think that they're just cutting out of Pachinki. Look at them. They're starting to make their way towards the roads. It looks like they're trying to find where those angles and those shots are coming from.
I think they're just trying to get down. Now Lone Wolf has taken a page out of their playbook. He's got an angle onto two more players. Med's coming out, but this is not looking good for Terrifying Nightmares. I mean, it's not really a big consequence so far, but really this is more for F4. This is a point of pride for them to win Pachinki away from the best team in the tournament. It's going to be a matter of just trying to get those downs. Lone Wolf had a good spot, but he's going to give it up.
Going to retreat back down. You can see Reses look like they might be trying to go through now. Are they going to be able to get over to it? Can Terrifying Nightmares get over onto Anna and Pachuri? I think that they should be able to. Yeah, no, they're going to make their way around. Yeah. So now I think it's just a matter of Fantastic Four and how they want to make any plays based off of this. They haven't been able to really make that cross. You can see that there's that no man's land right in between it. It's kind of like that alleyway. Sure, you've got the walls, but that's a terrifying run. It's only about 20 meters, but man, it's a scary 10 meters to run.
Well, realistically, we've spent so much time looking at Pachinki, we haven't noticed that first circle has shifted, and we're going to be staying around that Gatka region.
Kind of getting a look around. Most of the team's not going to have too far to go. Predominantly going to be straight up right around Gatka. Really going to cut out a little bit of Georgia Pool in the area. But we're still going to have school that's going to have to make its way out in our Rajak people. But everybody's going to pretty much make their way over towards the quarry locations. We still have Pachinki in play with the red zone on top of it.
So it's a matter of who's going to win Pachinki. But rejoining a different team for a change, we've got Team 9, they're in rotation. They've got their vehicles. This is God's Reign. They had the only other victory, or excuse me, that's
Incredibles.
Incredibles. They've had not the best day, but they're transitioning past, trying to find a good position here. Maybe they've been listening to us. Maybe it's time for teams to start playing center. Looks like that's where they're headed.
Cutting through, and the problem with it is whenever you're dealing with the Gatka area, there's a lot of field locations to make plays off of. But that being said, there's a lot of little sneaky areas. I think this is going to be one of those circles where we really test teams' map knowledge. Do they know the really cool places to make plays off of, where they can potentially get some nice kill angles from? Can they find a good place like the dips and the crevices where they can kind of hide out?
Right. So basically everyone in transition trying to find that center spot. There's lots of open positions to find. There's God's Reign. This is the team that we were looking for. They the only other round winner, and look at that. Junior Panther's been spotted first, and the Mollies are down. And just like that, we have another team fight unfolding. They've decided to stop, but it's the only place that's been occupied. That nade is right in front of them. That might have hit one of the players. You got to watch out for that. That does do some damage, but not enough. Now the zone comes, or the spray comes out, I should say. Vector Cree turns his back on the enemy. He's always punished. That's unfortunate.
This is turning really, really bad for Excellency. You can see already 2 members down. Everybody right now from Incredibles just swarming around this fight.
Hey, how are you? There's another one down, and that's a very quick finish. Incredibles team wipe in great fashion.
I gotta say, that was a very dominant performance coming through there. Didn't even lose a member inside of the fight. Meanwhile, we're on the other side of the map. We got our boys never slow down, starting to make their way through. Still getting a little bit of looting going on.
Still trying to keep it together. We saw some flashes from this team, but it just didn't come together for them at the end of the day. Meanwhile, Raw looks like they found the Incredibles elsewhere on the map, and they're doing lots of damage to them. Now, Raw, one at a time, is just taking it to them. That's back where we just saw that team, but now we have, again, more vehicles in rotation.
And this is going to be Squad 99, who's been very, very quiet, but really making their way up the leaderboards, getting a decent amount of kills, but consistent. I want to say like top 3 placements over and over again, and that's really just what's been carrying them on the leaderboard.
Still getting that much-needed loot. Georgia Pole, the circle closing again fairly shortly. Only about 20 seconds to go before that happens.
Oh, Chiefs off in the distance with it's going to be Mafia boys right up in front of them. I think that they're over in the, is that Primorsk area? Yeah.
Yeah, this is Primorsk, and this is the fight we were talking about. This is, again, Incredibles trying to defend. They have a lot of pressure coming their way, and it's just one after the other, but there's a man on the flank. He's trying to do more damage. He goes for the hot reload right in his face, but it's not going to happen.
That was close there.
Very close. That was a very clutch moment there, but it's going to be Raw taking the victory and a couple of reses, and that's going to be now a big pickup of loot because that's 2 squad wipes there.
They managed to survive through that. You can tell it was getting a little bit risky there. Meanwhile, Chiefs kind of leapfrogging from building to building. They seem aware that Mafia is there, and they want to try to make something off of this. You can see all bulking up right around that corner. That's usually the sign that they're going to do the hard push coming through. Is Mafia ready for it? Looks like they're caught off looking in the distance. If he stays tunnel visioned in on this, he might not see the 3 approaching down from below. But beautiful spray coming through there, getting the down onto one of them. That might stop Chief in their tracks.
That nice peek, nice spray down. The DP playing a big factor. Now no follow-up coming, however. Looks like Chiefs want one of their own, and they're pressing the action. Good defense coming out here from Team 10. They've got 1 down, but they're pressing just more and more. That's 2. That was a risky push, but he wanted to go for it. Now Chiefs are going for a res in the back line with 1 man trying to be aggressive at the front. And just like that, Chiefs are not going quietly.
You could tell the fact that they knew that somebody had to go back for the res off of the down that they just got. So they thought that they had the 2 advantage. Running forward, they got the down on 1. Did the low health push around the corner, hoping they could hit the spray. Does not pay off.
I think he got a 3rd-person peek there. Mafia would have spotted him. Maybe looking to another press out with that DP on the scope. He's going to go for it. There it is. He wants it.
Nice spray.
Yay. Nice shots there. Chiefs loses another one. That nade lands right on top of Mafia. He's going to back away and get a med going. Another nade following up now, coming into the 2nd story of this building. And that's looking good. It's primed and ready right on top. Everyone.
Nice nade.
What a nade.
Holy. Takes down so many people inside of that. This is turning real bad for Mafia. Are they paying attention for it? Can he get another one? If they could just wipe them out, they'll be making a mini red zone. They have to run so close. Soul just barely survives that.
Mafia is now on the back foot. He's getting pressure. Chiefs are looking like they might win this. Mafia had to retreat. He hit so many good shots, but the nades have been the factor, and they're throwing them over and over again. It's relentless nades from the Chiefs. Mafia is in trouble.
But it's so much utility being used right now. Sure, there's only 1 person left. You can see that they might make a play based off of this, but they're just opting into their nades. They're blowing smokes. They're using everything they can have. But what happens when they move into mid-game, though? Sure, you'll get the kills here, but what happens next?
Well, it's a matter of personal pride, and they've got that in spades. Now they're looking to finish off Mafia. The full push now coming. It's going to be a clutch moment here. Clutch or kick for Mafia. He's got the stairwell covered. The first man comes, the nade trying to probe. He's got defense. They will have to funnel up towards him. Mafia's made a couple of shots already. Will he be able to make a ton more to take down 4 players? Here they come, double peek. It's got to happen.
Steps up and forward. No! I got to say, not a lot of subtlety coming up from Chiefs there. They were like nading every stairwell as they were going up it.
Very safe.
They were like, hey, no, we're letting you know we're coming for you.
This is a nice play. I mean, that was a great fight between two great teams, and ultimately they will come out on top there, do the Chiefs. Meanwhile, we're joined back here in Gatka. This is now on the edge of the zone, Gatka being in the northeastern side, but mostly focused around that Radio Tower Hill area.
Right on the edge of the safe zone that you're talking about. So that's going to be Squad Raw now posted up, taking a couple of pot shots over towards Whitebeard's successors. Not too surprising, given the Gatka region, people kind of hold down buildings too far to cross towards each other, so just kind of take pot shots out and kind of burn off some resources.
Getting red zoned again anyway.
I know. It's always Pachinki, man. Like, they just need to put like a tower that says red zone comes here.
Yeah, no doubt. Now looking at the transition phase, that eastern side of the play zone, lots of teams trying to make their way to the middle. Team 17, the most center-based team so far. But now on that eastern side, we join in. This is our friends, Team 19. They've come to a stop here, maybe wanting to grab another vehicle.
Rotating drivers, it looks like. Everybody has that one player on the team.
I want to drive.
It's like, well, no, you just don't let them drive. Yeah. They're always the one that, like, I want to drive, and you just never let it happen.
None of that. Team 11 spotting Team 8 in rotation. Sorry, Team 6, that's F4 in rotation. They're trying to make their way through, and they will do so unopposed. Team 12 has got some friends with it. It's Team 17.
A little bit of a mix-up going on over here, so you can see a little bit of range fights that could be happening. But our boy from last game, look at Varan down there at the, I guess, the push position, set and ready to go and make the push over towards Never Slow Down.
Torpedo's the last man standing. I guess that Pachinki fight didn't do that very well for Terrifying Nightmares. They might find themselves out early, but in such a points lead, Torpedo's just going to try and hold on and just wait for a little while longer.
But I got to say, still, 15 teams. If they go out this early, that'll be really bad. And yeah, just jumping out right as soon as they make the land. Toronado.
Immediately prone.
Jump out, get information prone is what we're looking for here. But it's going to be the guys from Annihilate that are holding the outside of this. Trying to see if they get the angles. Trying to make the run up and forward. And that's going to be a mutual down and return. Still one member of Annihilate posted up inside the shack, but it's going to be two members coming out from Toronado. How are they going to make a play based off of it? Can the shack play come through? Can it survive?
If they nade that shack, that's going to be a big problem. It's still 3v2. Wow.
Oh, he just jumps out and he's trying to make it run, but he's lost his tires.
Oh, no.
And somebody jumps in and just sprays him down inside of it.
Well, he didn't make it away, unfortunately. That was a nice little shot there. I think he actually got the kill onto one of the members of Team 19, but, I mean, he's down now out in the field, so that's the end of his run. And look at this, Team 17 in a similar situation. They've got Team 12 right on top of them, the vehicle moving around. I think they want to leave, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah, this is a good point that you can kind of hold down, but it's got a lot of awkward positions. And here's the wreckage of a vehicle. We talked about the fact that we wanted more vehicle explosions. Now we get it. But, like, where are you crawling to, buddy? You're in the fields. You have no friends around you. Is it giving away his teammate's position, just crawling to him 200 meters away, being like, safe res, safe res. I'm in the middle of a field. It'll be fine.
It's crawling back to the ocean.
Deadman
Smasher. He's looking for some shots here. He's got the 4-time scope locked in and ready to go. He's got the eyes now on Team 19. We've been watching them make that vehicle push.
Well, he's the last member of Annihilate who we just saw get annihilated there as we saw a teammate driving off and away.
He's watching his teammate crawl around in the grass out there.
Like just that's got to be that's always a terrible feeling whenever you watch something just go bad on your team and you just watch vehicle explosions, bodies crawling around the place, and you're just like, can't help you, bro. Nothing I can do.
Nothing I can do. Joining in, it's Team 3. Team 13 right next door. This is another situation for the Chiefs where they're trying to defend. Oh, and the nades maybe playing a separate factor now. They've been having nades come out. Now they're coming back in as the Chiefs are trying to deal with the push of Team 13, who are just throwing nade after nade. And speaking of, Chiefs, again, looking to fish with those nades.
I gotta say, I love the fact that we're starting to see a lot more utility use in general. This round, we've seen a lot more nades. We've seen smokes being used very effectively. So we got the guys from Phoenix caught up into a little bit of a fight over here, looking back down toward Chiefs. And I gotta say, Chiefs gotta be feeling pretty good after their fight that they just had a second ago. Those fight wins can propel you and make you feel really strong.
Depends on how much damage you take as well. And for the Chiefs, they worse damage coming onto them. So how good is their armor? How good is their meds? You can see now they've got actually a decent amount of both, and the Chiefs may be feeling it as they continue to fish with grenades. That's another good throw. They're following up one at a time. I think maybe they're trying to lull people into a sense of security, see if they can get that follow-up kill. But how many nades do the Chiefs have? It doesn't matter. They're trying to spray down now. As the Chiefs looking for more kills, they've already got 4, and they want more.
Nice shots over towards Deathstroke. Phoenix is not necessarily a team we've had a chance to talk a whole bunch about. We've had Snipe down getting... Autocratic's been staying alive for quite a while, but this is the first time we've really seen all of the squad together performing at this point inside the games. So it's going to be interesting to see how this team fight breaks down with Chiefs playing very aggressive. Looks like they keep kind of running right up to the base of the house and then kind of stepping back away.
Well, they're using this third-person camera. They're trying to get some shots, and they're landing, and that's going to be another down. That's Nova getting the initial shots, and look at this, more long-distance shots. The Chiefs actually, it's another team arriving entirely. It's Team 20. They want to get involved, and it looks like they're trying to use their sniper. That's Bugboy on the back line, is trying to prevent any team pushes that's coming from the, I believe, from the swamp area.
It's starting to get Molly. It's getting pretty dicey over in this area. As you can see, Whitebeard's successors really wanted to be a part of this. And
he's burning them alive.
Down. Oh, getting taken down there. This is going really bad for Chiefs all of a sudden. As you can see, it's just going to be Fuggy Boy trying to make his way back over towards a teammate. I got to say, everybody right now in Phoenix, they're still doing pretty well. They have
going
one
for
down.
A push. He wants this. He got the nade down on one of the members in this building, and now he's only the last man alive, but he's not being decisive. Maybe he's just trying to buy some time to get the res going. That's a non-smoked res on the exterior. They've already had some pressure come elsewhere, so this is going to be important for them if they want to keep up the fight.
This is extremely detrimental. You can see with not necessarily being able to figure out how they wanted to make the play from it. Now they put themselves in a terrible spot where they're just getting sprayed from everywhere. They got the res, but now they're just going to turn around and have to re-res. Are we going to see any type of push coming out? And you can see it's just starting to turn into a bloodbath all around this location. And yep, here we go. Phoenix saw it. They won it. They're just going to step up and forward and through, and that's going to be all she wrote for Blood Boy. He's trying to survive, but he just can't connect off the shots. Already so low on life, and everybody just floods into the bathroom after him.
Getting bullied, getting beat down, and that's going to be it for the Chiefs. They fought valiantly, but is not going to net them a top 10 position. And just like that, we actually see a lot of action in the kill feed as teams are dropping left, right, and center. Team 16, this is now a position for them where they want to defend. Torpedo, the last man standing from Terrifying Nightmares. He's up in the barn roof, but he's just going to be chilling.
Keep in mind, this is Squad 99. Great performance, been very consistent. If they could manage to take down anybody from Terrifying Nightmares, that'd be huge. But speaking of that, look at that. We are seeing God's Reign taking a lot of damage inside of this fight. One person up and alive, sprays coming through. Manu's thinking about wanting to try to go back for that res, but under a lot of pressure at the direct time.
Medkit coming down, trying to smoke himself. Maybe try and get some loot here, but there's lots of line of sight coming towards him. The defensive nade, perhaps. Yeah, he's nading all around him. I think he's maybe trying to fish, unless those are smokes. But
I think he's just trying to throw out as many smokes as possible.
Yeah, no, those are nades. He's trying to defend. He thinks there's a snake around him.
Meanwhile, we've got Team Nowhere making the run off inside. You can see taking a little bit of damage. They go through. One teammate down and out, instantly taken down, and that's going to be all she wrote. Look at that vehicle explosion taking down Team Nowhere.
Unfortunate turn of events as SQ9 is going to pick up a bunch of kills. I think that's all 4 of that team down to SQ9, so that's a great job. And now it's Deadman Smasher. He's trying to rotate along the low side of this ridge just outside the swamp. He can hear some shots. SQ9 being very active. They got 5 total kills. Matt, go back to Deadman Smasher. He's got 1 down, and he's looking to try and finish.
All by his lonesome taking these shots. That shows some level of confidence. Sometimes people, whenever they're the last man standing, will just opt into playing for a position. He's like, no. I'm going to spray this down. I'm going to get the down, and then I'm going to go ahead and flush it, get the kill, stack up those extra 20 points, because we haven't been talking about that a lot, Moses. Kill points worth so much inside of this, especially in this last round.
Speaking of which, we also have another circle shift about to happen. The circle is centered up almost perfectly in the middle of this now new play zone. Team 14 is in the best spot. We have another fight arriving here. It's Team 13 versus Team 8.
So Phoenix still holding down that position they were at beforehand, but Hussar coming alive. We saw them with that early, I guess, vehicle car issue that they were having where they ended up with a couple of people inside there. So now seeing how they're making plays off of it, they're just doing a hard push over in this general vicinity, stepping back out and forward, but a lot of damage coming out.
Autocratic making a straight push, but he's got no way to move. The zone now on top of them as well, and this is going to be a big factor. They're out the vehicle and out the window.
People just raining down, and it's just spinning left, right, just knocking everybody they can, trying to stay ahead of the circle as it goes, but right now Snipe Down still up and alive, steps around the corner, manages to get the spray back alive, so really it's just trying to stay alive at this stage, but so much damage coming out from guys from Hussar.
There's, I think Team 15 is playing a factor as well, a little bit further away, putting pressure, but this is Team 14, the center base squad. This is Raw. They've got another team fight on their hands, and very quickly we're down to 8 teams. I think we just had 14 a second ago. But look at this aggressive push. There's 1 man, 2 man down.
Just flooding it. Just spraying down everybody. They're holding so many different angles. There's nowhere to go. He's trying to stay alive on it. Nowhere he can make any plays off of that strong push coming out from Raw.
That's a lot of kills. Now 12 kills for Raw already in this game. They're making a play for it. There's still 6 teams left alive. What a performance.
Look at this. They're just charging. They're like, okay, we got that one. Let's just keep it rolling. Just flooding down the hillside. Looking over, they assume that they know where everybody's going to be at. Trying to spot it out.
Spotted a snake.
Just going to try to connect onto it. You can see bullets starting to come through. Can they make it 13? They get the down onto one of them. But that gives them the information that they know. It's got to be somebody else around that general location. What are they going to do to capitalize off of it? Because they have to cross that road.
Being mindful of that flank down on the right side, the VSS being shot in return. It's Deadman, Team 12. They're a little bit further away. I'm not sure who got caught out there, but the finish does come on, I believe now. Team 8 getting involved. More sniper shots coming. A lot of shots landing. He's trying to make the cross. Will he make it? He's wide in the open. He's trying to get through, but he's going to be luckily finding some reprieve as it's going to be Raw trying to back away from this fight and get position. Very quickly, we're down to 5 teams.
They realize that they might be in a little bit of a bad spot, so they're opting in. You can see so many people spraying them down from the outside of this. So many third parties coming into effect. Blue zone still a factor, still just chasing right back behind it. Look at the amount of damage that's coming through. Did he manage to make the play zone? No, he did not. And look at this. Now we've got Team 14 just taking so many bullets. Raw, who was originally just doing so well.
Hot reload. He's spraying his mind out. He's trying to go NSD. What a shot. He will get the team wipe in the finish. Nice shots coming down from Never Slow Down. Never Slow Down still with so many members alive. Look at that. 4 teams, 8 alive. Never Slow Down. They have the numbers advantage right now. I got to say, I think a lot of these people are kind of all hunkered around a general vicinity over there. So let's see how they make the plays based off it. God's Legacy still alive at this stage, though. I didn't see the point where Terrifying Nightmares went out, though. Yeah, I don't know if it matters or not, but right now I think this is a story about Raw. Can they translate this performance into a victory? It's not looking good. I think they have only got 1, maybe 2 left standing. I can't see if there's only 1 left in that shack. I think Raw kind of got stuck out on that on the hill they were firing from. But Never Slow Down is looking really good here. Well, keep in mind, there is still one member of God's Reign that's just hanging out over there. So we essentially have 1 member of God's Reign. We have 1 member that's going to be up from Raw, 2 members from one side, and then Never Slow Down with 4 members up and active. Something tells me that they might know that there's 1 left in that shack. I don't know. I can give it away. Somebody just beat it in. Now look at this, though. We do have God's Reign, last member, hiding out inside the smokes right now. He could really win the game for them if he does any damage to Team 8. And that's going to be a big problem if your God's Reign is trying to make a play here in that last stage. Still 4 teams alive, the play zone restricting. And this is going to force, I believe, it's going to be Team 8 out into the open. But they spot him, and they'll finish him off, but not before taking damage. He's got to back away very quickly, get down and try and get meds. As now it's going to be Team 8 trying to make that last-ditch effort to try and push, but they're going to get stuck in the zone, I think. The Mollies are down in defense. They have to run through fire or deal with the zone. And this is looking very much like a Never Slow Down victory. All right, Moses, here we are, the final round. We're sitting here at the grand finals. This has got everything on the table. Everybody is playing for pride at this stage. This has been a very hard week of after event going through here. So now you can see Never Slow Down. Oh, they want to trade. Trying to connect onto it, and they do get it. That drops it down to just 2 teams. A little bit of damage has been afflicted, but it's just 1 member from Raw left. He's going to try and smoke himself out. I was wondering if he's going to try and make a play for that kill on the res, but he's trying to get as much utility as he can. He had to hear it. He had to hear the firefight, had to know that if he's going to do anything, this is his chance, but I think it's too late. It's too late. I think the zone is about to close. He's got 23 seconds, and now the aggression is coming. He's stuck in the zone. They're nading him out of there. He's got to have to make a play, but that would mean entering the blue zone. Ton of damage! Not going to happen. Never Slow Down, showing up there towards the end of the round, coming in with a solid 10 kills, all things considered. I got to say, all up and alive and very active in that last circle. And a nice play by Raw there as well. They did wind up with 13 total kills. A nice performance for second place. But now it's about mental math. Where are we in the leaderboards? And they're talking amongst themselves. It's got to feel good to win the last game here in the grand finals. What do you guys think? Yay! Hey, they're doing it in there. All right, so I think it is caster math. We're not even going to try to attempt it. There's a running meme about how bad we can be at math at times. But I got to say, we've already seen one example today. Terrifying Nightmares. Yeah, they had a pretty decent lead. I didn't see the exact point they went down, but I want to say they went down outside of the top 10. I think it was around that 14-15 mark, and if you're Terrifying Nightmares, you got to feel good. But it's really about Never Slow Down. I mean, this was the 3rd unique victory for this tournament, and for them, I mean, winning the last match of the finals got to feel good. Well, this is one of the teams that we talked about several times, specifically on the analyst desk, that we wanted to see more out of, because you could see like these moments where you're like, okay, this team can do it, and then something would just kind of go wrong for them at one stage of it, and they would just make a bad call here or there. This time, they finally played their game the way that they want to play it. I think performed quite well. Cora, what's your take on it?
Absolutely. I think you can't sleep at all on Never Slow Down. I mean, they bookended this 5-game set today very, very nicely. They had a great I liked them in the beginning as well. Yeah. I mean, they had a phenomenal game 1, and then they come and do this in the last game. That's a great performance. They can leave this tournament feeling really, really good about the way they performed.
Well, we talked about the importance of this last round and making some form of statement. And so it's great to see them come through and make that statement. I got 4 people alive at the end, hard pushing out towards the fight. At the end of it, they're like, no, we know where this person is. firm awareness. Like, sure they had the numbers, but at any given point, you could tell they knew where every single person was. They went on the hunt. They went after snake, not afraid.
I mean, that end game where you saw Raw with so many kills, they did have 4 up at that stage, but I think they maybe spent a little bit too much time looking for those extra kills, and it cost them. I mean, they had to come down that hill out of cover and just got torn apart.
It's just like they walked into a killing field. They were so loud for so long, and that's kind of one of the things. Like, whenever you can take these shots at a small circle, everybody's kind of like, oh, shots that direction. So as soon as somebody comes over that hillside, it's just a wave of bullets going that direction.
Well, that's the risk you run. But I got to say, Raw never slow down. All these teams, the last game, they all came to play.
Yes.
Every single one of them. You saw so much fighting. You saw so many starting off.
This was a fun start. Like, little delivery service, like, here's a couple of kills, go bananas, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, for CSPG, this was the game they needed to play well. This was another situation that kind of turned on its head there in the warehouses around Georgia Pole. But I mean, yeah, for CSPG, they were the second place team coming into that last game, and it just wasn't for them.
Yeah,
or were they? I think maybe they were in the top 5 at the very least.
Yeah.
They'll probably still remain inside the top 5 again. Not going to try to do any caster math based off of it, but it was just really, really rough. And we saw a very long fight happening, I'd say, around the Georgia Pole areas there for a bit. We saw the Pachinki fight that just lasted for so long. A lot of very explosive fights, though, coming into this. You can tell that a lot of these players were like, okay, that's it. It's time to go. Let's see what we can do.
Raw,
this is Raw, like one of their many fights that I think really went in their direction.
Yeah.
And you can see that was a tough reload there, as just barely hanging on. But again, Mafia played really well too. I mean, he hit a couple of really nice shots. There being in the battle with the Chiefs, but I believe really, and the Chiefs, I mean, super active as well all the way through the mid game.
Yeah, and at no point did they let off the gas pedal. They were just full-on approach. They just wanted to go after every fight that they could get, and I gotta say, they made a lot of very solid plays coming off of there, and also a couple of interesting plays that came through as well.
And I think that's something that the Chiefs can really take home from this tournament is, they obviously the first 4 games maybe didn't really go that well. It took them a little bit of time to get involved, but this last push here, this last game, they really showed what they're capable of, and I think they can kind of build some confidence off of that.
I mean, the grenades, it was relentless, and they eventually naded Mafia out of this building and then went for a full push. It was a valiant effort by him, but it just wasn't going to happen there, not with that many. A little bit of a bonus ball as well. I mean, there was just so many interesting team fights that happened here. This being one of them here with Rashad just going bananas in the prone position. And then, I don't know what this was, but I mean, takes him for a bit of a ride there.
Just essentially eats him away.
You're coming with me. You're coming with me. But it was just a tough play there. He jumped bail out.
Well, the vehicle was about to explode, so choose your poison in that stage, for lack of a better term. Chiefs, another fight. Again, not afraid to just push into whatever and try to go for the skirmishes. Well, this time doesn't pay off for him, though.
Not really. I mean, Fugboy's stuck in the bathroom doing his best he can to try and defend, but, I mean, they stayed active. They should be proud of their performance here, but some nice plays all over the place here in this game.
This fight, whenever it's just people raining down from windows. Again, not waiting until the blue's on top of them, though. I do like the fact that they opted into at least trying to go for the fights at this stage instead of just kind of like running along with it. But again, never slow down. Look at this, just starts hunting at this stage. They are aware that they got the numbers advantage, and they just keep on going.
And this is the end of the game, trying to clean out the squads in the edge of the zone. They almost had a problem there. I think there was maybe an avenue for the last member of Raw to make a play, but at the end of the day, the zone was doing damage, and that was a NSD victory. And one that was quite nice. I mean, a bunch of kills and some really good moments.
10 kills. Vampire really can definitely leave this thing feeling pretty good about himself.
A fairly low kill game of all things considered if you look across the board as it moves through, specifically in the lower bracket as we're sitting. Chiefs and Incredibles still managing to be quite active, but we kept talking about all the fights that Chiefs was taking. I was expecting way more kills from them than 4.
Nightmares went out in 14th place, but I don't know if that's going to have an effect, but I mean,
it should.
Yeah,
160 points.
Yeah,
I don't think that anybody blew up 800 points.
Either they won or they had not a great game. So I mean, that's a pretty good ratio, right? So I mean, 3 out of 5 victories going to the Ravagers, the Terrifying Nightmares. As NSD picks up a nice victory there with 10 kills, 700 points.
Squad 99.
But look at, look at Raw as well. Squad 99 had another great performance. I mean, Squad 99, if maybe a couple of games shake out differently, they could very easily be a top team as well.
Well, that's 4 teams at the top there. 10 kills, 13 kills, 12 kills, 10 kills. You could feel really, really good about how you finish this tournament. You finish strong. No matter where you are on the leaderboard, you always want to make sure that last game you make a good accounting of yourself, and these squads definitely did that.
I mean, Squad 99, they've been doing such a good job, again, in that consistent role. That's what we can keep talking about inside of it. Again, a 4th place position. We've seen them have a little bit of trouble sometimes in the early game and still recover. They can still play from those position points, and 10 kills inside of that round to boot. That's nothing to be ashamed of in the slightest. Now, how does it shake up the leaderboard, or could it potentially do so?
There's a couple of teams that could have made themselves a little bit of extra cash there based off of this final round.
Yeah, there's the bounties
MVPs,
as well that we've been
bounties,
talking about. I mean, the fact that they could have the most kills inside of a round, they could have the most kills overall. There's a lot of squads in there that had really good performances throughout the entire tournament. So really, the MVP and all that stuff is still to be decided. But at this stage, I think that really all participants should feel very proud of their performance, regardless of where they place.
Absolutely, and the region as a whole should feel really, really good about how this team's accounted for themselves. I mean, when PUBG Mobile goes to India, or when the champion of PUBG Mobile India goes to Dubai, they're going to be scary. I mean, I think teams all the other regions in the world need to be intimidated and scared of whoever ends up winning this championship. Terrifying nightmares. They need to be terrified.
So subtle.
Something that might show up in their nightmares, if you know what I'm saying.
Now, I think we've had enough puns for one day. They're pun friend.
Oh, come on. I got like 5 minutes more. I could get a couple more in there.
Oh, God, no. Save us. Save us. All right. But I think that becomes one of the big things that we were talking about a second ago. MVP status.
Right.
Bounties. How's it going to come through? We saw reses were a little bit harder to secure inside of this than we would normally have expected it, just due to how close range the fights were happening. Sometimes people had to opt into not going for the res because it was too dangerous, and that led to a lot of people bleeding out. So something like got the most revives, that could be a lot harder to achieve than we were expecting.
Well, I mean, there's also the fact that even though we watched Terrifying Nightmares play so well throughout the entire tournament, I think they played so well as a team that no individual really stuck out to me. I don't know about you guys, but I mean, that's the thing when you're trying to decide an MVP caliber player. Who do you pick over a team that's played so well as a unit? But really, I mean,
if they were alive, they were fragging out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically for every single member of that team, and that's what makes them such a scary unit to have to deal with. Because even if you get one or knock out two, the other 2 or 3 that are left are still very capable, and very able to destroy your entire squad if they end up in a 2v4. We saw it multiple times.
Not afraid. I think that's one of the good things that you can kind of take away from Terrifying Nightmares. Their job is to make everybody afraid of them, but they play with absolutely no fear.
No fear.
They'll just kind of charge through. They'll play smart. Like, if they know that it's not a good fight for them, they won't jump into it head first. But if they see that opportunity and they think that they can take it, they're not afraid to go for that clutch style play.
Yeah, once that window of opportunity opens up, they are the first ones to jump right through it. And whether it's completely open or even partially open just a little bit, they will force their way in and make it work for them.
I think that's kind of what defines a good player. Like, you'll see like this little bit of an opening, and they'll just walk up and kick it open and be like, no, we want this. And they'll make a play based off of a very small mistake from another team.
And I think that's one of the things that really kind of, there it is.
There it is. Terrifying Nightmares.
Terrifying Nightmares.
You can hear them cheering out in the crowd. They're all down here in front of us, and they are all hugging out the crowd as Terrifying Nightmares secures the overall victory in dominating fashion. If we could get those scores up again, I would like to actually take a quick peek.
Because we had Squad 99 that was in second place. No surprise there. Again, essentially the kings of consistency throughout this event so far.
No victories to their name, but constantly up in that top 8. Always on the right side, the correct side of the leaderboard.
Yeah, that was, a really good and consistent performance, like you just said, but also a very active performance.
Yes.
When there was something to be done, they would go out and do it, whether it was maybe pushing into the zone or taking a team fight. It was a squad that really proved themselves, and they deserved their placement.
Absolutely.
And I think that's kind of one of the things that sometimes can be a problem with whenever you look at this is, I got to say, Squad 99, they did really, really great. It's just the fact that Terrifying Nightmares was just so dominant with their 3 victories, with their high kill totals. It got to be a hard part to where we could just keep talking like, okay, Squad 99. That being said, look at how strong of a team is right back behind them, dealing with everything that's going on. Keep in mind, when you have a strong team like Terrifying Nightmares, you have to figure out a way to survive around this and be consistent, and they did.
Yeah, I mean, anyone else stand out to you in that top 5?
Well, I didn't get to see a lot of the top five. But
My bad. Trap question.
It's a trap. But I want to say something. One more thing about Terrifying Nightmares. Okay, you know, all three of us have done innumerable competitive level PUBG games on PC. The strategies that Terrifying Nightmares employs are the same exact type of strategies. The diving the middle, getting a compound, holding the compound, taking the opportunity to push any types of advantage that you might get. These guys are on top of that.
Early rotations paid off so strong for them. If I had to say one thing specifically, early rotations for Terrifying Nightmares, always going for center circle, so good.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for us here on the caster desk. I've been WTF Moses, joined by Matrim and Porosaurus. It's been an absolute pleasure to stand here in front of you all and cast these games. It's been a terrific experience. We're going to take it over to the stage for the final moment of this ceremony. Thank you guys for watching, and we hope to see you very soon.
Come to our almost sweet end, and you know the winner. Can we have a 3 cheer for them?
Hip hip!
Hip hip! Hip hip! Ladies and gentlemen, and that's none other than
the Terrifying
Nightmares!
Well, but before we come to the winners,
this journey was tremendous.
Yes, that's of course.
The
but
journey
also
started with 250 registrations, with over 80 participants coming up all the way to the top, making it really big. This is the ultimate victory. Please give them a big round of applause for coming together to create a history for the very first time in India.
And also, among 80 participants, we had one female contestant, only one female contestant. Can we give it up for the girl, please? Come on. More power to you, girl. Can we have you on stage along with your mom? Quickly, quickly.
Can we have the PUBG Mobile girl to please step onto the stage? Along with your mommy, who's here to support you and cheer you.
To me, all the 80 participants who have reached to this point through 250K registrations, put in all their effort, all their hard work, to me, each one of them are winners. Can we make some noise for them? You know what? I love you guys because every moment you'll have kept the energy level going. A huge round of applause for yourselves. Come on.
This clap is for yourself, guys.
Yes,
come on, make it much more louder for yourself for being here. We have come together to create a history for the very first time in India. We have a huge platform set up for the players who have come together to play this. And we have the PUBG Mobile girl along with her mommy.
So,
you both are looking very pretty. Guys, clap.
All right. Can we know your name, please? Sejal. So, I mean, it's very rare that a woman, comes up and plays a mobile game, and PUBG Mobile always encourages. It's open to all. They want everyone to be part of their family. What do you have to say about that, ma'am?
Honestly, I've never encouraged her. Never ever encouraged her. I was always irritating. She's always on her phone. But somehow she convinced me for this mega event, and your organizers also, I had a word with them, and they said this is going to be a mega event and your kids will be celebrity and all those, page 3 status. So I thought maybe I'll come over, and I'm really happy for this event. Congratulations to all you guys. It was really rocking, but my kids couldn't make up.
And that's
so
absolutely true.
So haven't she made you proud? She has made you very proud,
She's the only PUBG Mobile girl who played it, and you're the mom of the only girl who played this game. So obviously, they both deserve a big round of applause.
So to all the mommies watching out there, if you're not encouraging your ladies, you're missing on to this moment, this very moment of being something like this beautiful lady, the PUBG Mobile girl. Give it up to her. Give it up to her. Come on, everybody.
This is not just a game. We are one level up. It's an e-sport, and that's a tournament, a long tournament which has come to a sweet end. This deserves a big round of applause, and this is possible only because of all your participations. Come on, guys, give it up for yourself. Make it louder.
And this is a special token of appreciation for you. Thank you for coming along with her, and ultimately, even though not earlier, but right now, encouraging her while she was playing right there. You did that, right? You did that. Come on, give it up to this lady. Beautiful lady. Come on, everybody. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
And you know what? Obviously, we have 5 more giveaways to you guys. And
But
obviously-
only if you show us a lot more energy than before. Make some noise!
Okay, let's do this now. Getting geared up, is it? To grab those phones in hand. Yeah? Are you excited? Are you excited? Do you want the mobile? Okay, can I have the mobile in hand, please? You know what? I'm going to make it very simple and easy for you. If you really want it, I want you to shout out loud and ask me for it, and I'm just going to give it to you. But not right now. I'll tell you when. Yeah, I'll tell you when. Oppo F9 Pro is going to be in hands of that gentleman or a lady or a boy who really, 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 really wants this. Make it louder. Make it louder. Oh my. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Can you have the camera panning in right now? Woo! This is for you. For you. You know what? The boy just turned into a Hulk right now. Woo! Thank you so much, everybody. Please sit back, huh? Yeah? Okay, ready ho jao, aur ek baar chalayenge. Can we have another one? This one. This one. Hang on. Har baar nahi chilayenge. We are not shouting again. We care for your throat. Yeah? This is gonna be to somebody. Okay, let me pick up someone here who's like branding PUBG Mobile. So you have to, hang on. You have to give me those names of our sponsors quickly. Now this question is for this guy. I thought this question is for this guy.
Oppo, good. Really the most biggest PUBG Mobile.
That's fabulous, and this is for you! Give it up, guys, give it up. Be happy even for someone else's victory. That's when the victory will follow you.
Now. Okay, 1 second. If you scream, you won't be able to hear me and you won't be able to reply. Now, if you're really a PUBG Mobile fan, I give you the microphone and you tell me 10 things that are in the app, but your countdown starts now. Who can do that? Come on. 1 second. Okay?
10 things that are in the app. So you mean the arcade mode, the classic mode, then you have a...
You're too slow, anybody else?
Okay, hang on. Okay, let him finish.
Gyroscope, peek and scope, arcade mode, DPP mode, FPP mode, Sanok, Erangel, Miramar, and then we have vest, we have helmet, we have gun, VSS.
No.
Good one.
Congratulations, you were good.
Okay.
You were good.
Okay, now you would get this when you go back to your seats. Go back to your seats.
Come on, everybody,
quickly.
get back to your seats.
Quickly, get back to your seats.
Quickly.
Get back to your seats. Now you guys are making me feel like as if you came to this arena only to get this phone away. Yeah, sit back, chill out. Let me see the bright face who has been holding that energy level from morning till now. Okay. Hang on. Did I ask you to scream? You know what? Now we're gonna try something different. I want you to feel like you're screaming, but you shouldn't. I just want to see the emotion that you throw in your voice. You should not actually sound. You should emote and show me that you're screaming loud. No.
You are still screaming.
No.
Oh my God, you're still screaming.
I don't want you to scream. Hang on.
No screaming out here. Can I request everyone to step back and get back to your seats, please? Please, requesting you to get back to your seats.
Step back. No screaming. You just have to
Each one of
emote
you
like you're
requesting
screaming.
you to get back to your seats. Okay, we don't give away the prize, Arun, till they get back to their seats. Okay.
Okay. This one goes to him there. There, right there. Woo! Good one. Okay, guys.
All right. requesting everyone to quickly get back to your seats.
Oh my God.
Because
did you
we've
look
got
at
the
this,
last
Maddie?
one.
Did you look at the gentleman going crazy over PUBG Mobile? You know, I want you to do that. I want you to do that, and I want everyone else to follow this act. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Crazy!
You guys
this is
are
what we
phenomenal.
call it
The
as
energy is
an
insane.
absolute addiction of PUBG Mobile. And what's your name, gentlemen? Umakant. This one is for Umakant.
Can we have a huge round of applause for Umakant?
We also want the gentlemen about 30 and 40 to play this game. So obviously this one goes to you. Thank you so much for letting your age know. But anyways,
Here
we're
you
not
go,
looking for an
Umakant.
alliance.
Well done.
This is for you. Thank you so much. Oppo F9 Pro is in your hand right now. Thank you. Can everybody please give him a big round of applause?
Well, I love the love that you're giving for Oppo F9 Pro. Come on, give it up for Oppo F9 Pro.
Okay, guys,
and
sit
all
back.
you lovers of PUBG Mobile, make
sit
some
back.
noise. Wow, only one. Come on, everybody, one more time.
Okay, guys, stay back for more. Stick around and tell me if you guys are having fun. Do you guys want to have more fun? Okay, have fun. Okay, so guys, we also have a lot of online viewers. The battle which went viral online is being viewed by so many people. And even they are going to be feeling lucky because we have chosen 3 winners online. So boys, if you're watching this, girls, if you're watching this, you are the winner as I take out your name right now. Are you ready? This is for online.
Yes, but you can make some noise for them too. Come on, guys, make some noise.
Woo! Can everybody please make it louder? Are you ready for this? Guys, the energy needs to be a little more louder. Little more louder.
No, no, no. When we say louder, 5 notches higher. 1, 2, 3. Woo! I like that. I wish everybody had that.
And the winner of YouTube viewership. And this one goes to Shaunak Bale. Shaunak, if you're watching this, we are mailing you an Oppo F9 Pro right at your address. Thank you.
Hearty congratulations to you. And the second winner is Yash Kadam. Over to you, Yash. Keep smiling and celebrate that moment.
And the next would be Ketan Gekar. Can we have a big round of applause for all these YouTube winners?
Everyone, eyes to the AV.
All eyes on screen, please.
Red zone will be activated.
The 20 teams who made it to India's first ever PUBG Mobile Campus Championship presented by Oppo F9 Pro. Come on guys, make some noise. Well, 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 to be a PUBG Mobile player, you need to be swift, skilled, and you need to be insane to the